Another enormous day in the National Hockey League as the regular season continues to wind to an end, and we wind this incredible Saturday to an end. In prime time, we've got a magnificent matchup and perhaps a playoff preview matchup. The Vegas Golden Knights come to Denver to take on the now President Trophy clinching team, the Colorado Avalanche, in the third and final meeting of the season between these two. Colorado, of course, has clinched the President's Trophy as the top team in the league. They've been the top team in the league all season long. Vegas just trying to make it to the finish line of this regular season and secure themselves a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And hello, one and all. I'm Matthew Owens. Welcome to Denver. Thanks for having us in. As you can see, Jaric Rubel is alongside me tonight. Yes, it's the second time we've done this year, but the first time in a quote-unquote normal game. Jaric is on the mic. Jaric is on camera as well. Hello to you, Jaric. Ready to go.
Hello, Matthew. Thanks so much for having me alongside tonight. We've been planning this for a little bit, and I'm glad we've been able to get it to all work out. And you're right, it's the first normal game we're calling. We had the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game last year, and then Carolina and Chicago this year, but we know that's not just any normal game. That's my favorite team versus your favorite team. So now we find ourselves here in a very neutral setting. We're not cheering for Team USA. We're not cheering for a favorite team. And I might have this Avalanche jacket on with the Nordiques hat, but it's just for the stream. You know, from Chicago, so don't have any bias in this game, but I'm very much looking forward to tonight, because you mentioned this Avalanche team's been in first place pretty much the whole year. It'll be 143 consecutive days by the time the season ends. They've clinched the President's Trophy, and that run ties the 83-84 Oilers for the third longest streak in NHL history. The 1976-77 Canadiens are the team that did it longest, 158 consecutive days in first place for them. But this Avalanche team, yeah, they have the President's Trophy, and yeah, they might have the President's Trophy curse, but it's really hard to look at this team and think that they're not going to do any damage in the playoffs, and can't sell this Vegas team short here. And I don't mean that in a way that that we're going to write them off, but don't sell them off or write them off in the sense that I think they might play this Colorado team in the first round. LA won today, and LA is 2 points back now of Vegas. And if Vegas loses this game in regulation, things could get interesting. And all of a sudden, this game tonight could be what we're looking at next Sunday in round number one.
And that would be, of course, a powerhouse first-round matchup between, of course, two teams that have recently won the Cup. You mentioned Colorado and what they have done this season and how dominant they've been. They're 52-16-10 on the season. As we talked about, they've clinched the President's Trophy. 2 of those 52 wins have come against this Vegas team. They're 2-0 against the Golden Knights. They won in Vegas both times, 4-2 on Halloween night, 6-5 in a shootout a couple of nights after Christmas. If this is indeed a playoff preview, it does seem like Colorado has a good tune on this Vegas team. But as we know, the Golden Knights, they have players on this team with plenty of playoff experience. They won the Cup a couple of years ago. And as we also know, Jaric, a coaching change just a couple of weeks ago that shocked a lot of people.
Shocked me as I was getting ready to head out with a bunch of friends for the night, and I get the notification on my phone, Bruce Cassidy out, John Tortorella in, and I was like, wow, this changes a lot. And I think about it in the perspective of the stat that I tell you. 19 times since 2001 has a team that's made a coaching change either in the offseason or during the current season, just during that year, the first year of a head coach being brought into a team, has made the Stanley Cup final. That's over 65% of the time since I've been born, so it's a long history, has a good percentage of it. So I look at that, and I look at the Pacific Division being as weak as it is, and I'm like, hey, if Vegas turns it around, they were my preseason pick to go to the final out of the Western Conference. So it's like, alarm bells are going off. We got to watch this Vegas team here tonight and see how they look against a very dangerous Colorado squad.
Big day in the National Hockey League, of course. Regular season ends in less than a week. We'll talk about that as we go on throughout the night. And as we get closer and closer to the playoffs starting a week from today. Vegas and Colorado battling here for the third and final time in this regular season. We've also had a collegiate hockey champion crown. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show. But it is primetime Saturday night hockey here with the Avalanche hosting the Golden Knights, and we will drop the puck on that when we return. Great to have you with us Saturday night, and a good one out west, Vegas and Colorado coming up. Getting closer to puck drop tonight at Ball Arena in Denver. It is the Colorado Avalanche hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. Third and final regular season meeting between these two Western Conference foes, who, as we talked about earlier, very well could be seeing each other on the same sheet of ice in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which begin a week from today. We are excited for this one, no doubt about it. Matthew Owens, Jaric Rubel back here with you, and about ready to get going, Jaric, on what should be a very fun night. Colorado already having that President's Trophy clinched. We'll see how they play the night. And for Vegas, of course, every point down the stretch of the season important to them. They've only got 2 left next week after this one.
And a win tonight for the Golden Knights will punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the man trying to backstop them to a playoff berth will be Carter Hart. He's got a record of 8-3-3 on the season, a 2.93 goals against average, and an .881 save percentage. He did get a start against these Avalanche back in December, as he lost that game 6-5 in the shootout, like Matt mentioned, and he'll be opposed by Mackenzie Blackwood. 22-10-1 on the season for him for the Avs, a 2.54 goals against average with a .901 save percentage and 3 career shutouts. He's never beaten the Vegas Golden Knights. He's 0-4-0 with an .872 save percentage and a 3.80 goals against. That's 15 goals on 117 shots.
And we are ready to go on a night in Denver where the Avalanche wear the throwback Quebec Nordique sweaters, and it's time to drop the puck on Nordique night in Denver. We are underway with the Avalanche controlling the opening face-off. Gabe Landeskog squirreled it into the zone to the Vegas end to our left, chipped up off the far boards and out by Vegas is Ivan Barbashev. Devon Taves will reach it, and Colorado will start from our right to our left in this first period. From dead center, Taves feeds the left wing over the line. McKinnon threw it all the way across, and it missed the stick of Arturi Lehkonen, who whisked it behind the net. McKinnon with a centering feed out in front, broken up, and Vegas will clear. Vegas in road white with pewter numbers and gold trim with pewter pants. They'll attack from left to right. Both teams complete first change of the night, and here's Taves through center for Marty Necas, off the blade of his stick into the Vegas zone, picked up by the Golden Knights. Pavel Dorofeyev having a spectacular season. Out to center, it's turned over, and now grabbed right back by Shea Theodore. Ahead for Dorofeyev over the line, feeds it up the middle. Mitch Marner, touch pass on the right wing, back to Dorofeyev, who tried to feed it across. It was intercepted, forced out to center by Brock Nelson. And Colorado will regain possession as it's possessionless through center momentarily, and a whistle and a first stoppage just over a minute in. John Tortorella was named the head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights on March 29th, and they have won 4 of 5 and have not lost in regulation under the leadership of the 67-year-old former Stanley Cup champion head coach. Jared Bednar, of course, for Colorado, out of Yorkton, Saskatchewan. 10 seasons as the Avalanche bench boss. Colorado wins the draw at center. Played in deep from the near red line all the way around. Could not be stopped by Carter Hart to the far corner. Tomas Hertl gets to it. On the forecheck is Nick Waugh, former Golden Knight, going up against his former team. And Vegas able to get this out of the zone. And it's taken away by Colorado's Ross Colton. Stanley Cup champion, of course, with Tampa Bay. Tried to yank it out to center, taken away by Caden Korzak. 3 goals on the season. He bounces it into the Colorado zone off of Blackwood, who plays it away carefully, and Colorado is out to center. In those Nordique sweaters tonight, sky blue sweaters with white numbers and the maroon trim, sky blue pants with a white stripe down the middle. Behind the net, it's Korzak for Vegas, outletted to his left and brought back through center by Keegan Colasar. Over the line, Colasar tries a shot that's shrubbed away by Manson. Colasar got to the rebound, sent it along the dasher to the far side. Could not be held in by Noah Hannafin, who has to get on his horse back in to his own zone. Logan O'Connor tried to take it away from him and did, out of the near corner. Hannafin jousting away with Colorado's Parker Kelly. Hannafin up the near wall, a board battle outside the left circle. This happening to the right of Carter Hart. Comes to the left point where it's held in for a drive that never made it to the net. Now to the right point, long wrister. Blocked out in front, banked back out to the right point once again. Colorado in control of the puck. Brett Kulak at the top of the left circle. His shot off the left pad of Hart, low to high. It's played back to the right point. Josh Manson high to low through traffic. Karen back out to him. Sends it to the left circle. Paddled down and given to Kulak for a drive. Missed the net wide on the glove side. Colorado holding the zone well here. Vegas finally will get it out with some help from Keegan Colasar. Good zone time that time, Jaric.
Yeah, a lot of good puck movement there for the Avalanche, but good job by the Golden Knights to frustrate Colorado, as they were unable to get more than just a shot on goal. They've been held to the perimeter nicely in Vegas with a ton of shot blocks.
McKinnon out of the left circle, played it up top. Shot by Sam Malinsky, deflected wide and off the inboards, taken back by Vegas. Over the line, Mitch Marner wedges it in deep. Gabriel Landeskog got to it behind the Colorado net before Mark Stone could. Taken out of the far corner by Colorado's Devon Taves. Hits the brakes on his far half boards and diagonals it out to center. And the Avalanche will look forward once again. Malinsky feeds it up the left wing. Lehkonen in deep. Hart moves it around to the far corner. Braden McNabb up the wall. Ivan Barbashev looks to get it out for Vegas. He does, as he knifes it out to Dorofeyev. Whacked in deep to the left of Colorado's Mackenzie Blackwood. Taken out of the near corner by Brock Nelson. Longtime New York Islander turns it over. Out of the right circle, it's played to the left point for a shot that deflected in on Blackwood, and he's able to see it and cover it up. Gets a whistle just past the 4-minute mark.
And Dorofeyev there on front of the net. He's gotten sticks in the lane a lot through neutral ice. I noticed him take away possession of Colorado through neutral ice a couple of times early in this game, and now he's in front causing chaos on top of the blue paint. Had a nice redirect there, had a chance to go 5-hole, but Blackwood in the butterfly position, able to make a good stop.
Face off to Blackwood's right out of the far circle. Puck is down, and Nelson was able to control it for Colorado. Avalanche get it out of the zone, and here they come from our right to our left. Marty Necas, he can fly, cuts out wide to his right. Shot from distance, seen away easily by Hart. Comes out of the near corner, banked by Nelson back to the left point for a long shot that never made it to the net. Now from the far wall, a quick shot turned on goal by Brent Burns. Hart forced that away, and here comes Vegas the other direction. And up the right wing, a chance here, and a shot rang off the crossbar from Barbashev, and the rebound comes to Necas, and Barbashev very nearly had Vegas out in front early. Brett Kulak will force it forward. Valnichushkin near left wing and over the line. He shoots wide on the glove side of Hart. Rebound taken off the far wall. Nick Waugh turned over. Here comes Vegas out to center. Colton Sissons gains the red line and flushes it forward. Manson out of the far corner plays it back this way. Nick Blankenberg, a 27-year-old. Back for Manson, who will elevate it out to center. This puck will wobble all the way down on Hart, who has to play it. Out to his right he does for Rasmus Anderson. His lead feed does not connect. Blankenberg back to get it in the Colorado zone, and out to center come the Avs. Yoel Kiviranta takes a big hit, and Vegas is able to force the puck back into the Colorado zone to our right. In the trapezoid behind Blackwood, Taves picks it up and play will stop, and we've got a penalty coming up here.
We'll see what the call is. The officiating staff tonight, Francis Sharon and Cody Beach, the referees. Jesse Marquis and Travis Toomey are the linesmen, and it looks like the first power belongs to the Golden Knights.
So it will be Vegas to the power play. A Vegas power play that ranks 5th in the league this season at just under 25%. Colorado's penalty killing unit is the best in the NHL. They kill off 84%. And a chance for Vegas to get an early start here on the man advantage. Tomáš Hertl, the 32-year-old veteran from Czechia, will take the face-off here against Jack Drury, the former Carolina Hurricane for Colorado. This out of the far circle. Hertl was able to wrap it back to Marner, who steps down the left wall. Marner hits the brakes bottom of the far circle. Feeds it into the back for Stone. Back for Marner. A touch feed up top. Eichel. Directed on for Marner again. Feeds the middle for Hertl in the slot. Turnaround shot. Didn't make it through the traffic, and Colorado gets it out to center. Eichel will regather, and Vegas will start again. Eichel up the far left wing. Strikes red, strikes blue. Takes it over the line. Brent Burns was able to knock it free of his stick, but Eichel got it back in the far corner, but his pass back to the top was intercepted by Parker Kelly. Kelly will take his time, skating out to center before he softly feathers it into the Vegas zone to our left. Hart leaves it in the trapezoid there for Marner. Marner drops it off, and Jack Eichel will pick it up. Michael, who leads this team in point scoring this season, plays it in deep. Colorado tries to get it out, but it's held in at the right point by Marner, who tried to then whack it back down the near wall for Stone. That was knocked away by O'Connor. Marner back over the line. Eichel hits the brakes on the far half wall, scans the Colorado penalty kill unit halfway through the penalty time. Eichel to the front, quick shot, taking a deflection right out in front, and Stone backhanded it just wide of Blackwood. Back out to Marner at the left
Lulled
point.
the Avs to sleep there, man.
He really did. Eichel from the top of the left circle looks across, looking for Dorofeyev, knocked away by O'Connor, and Colorado can clear.
I've done a lot of Colorado games the last couple of weeks here, and that's the most dumbfounded I've seen their penalty kill. Eichel froze them and had Stone on the back door, but the pad there, Blackwood, able to come up big for the Avs.
Howden in over the line, takes it to the near corner. He got tied up there. Colton Sissons is in this battle along with Sam Malinsky at the bottom of the right circle. Taken away by Taves below the goal line. Tries to turn and clear the puck. He can't, but Colorado eventually does. 10 seconds left on the penalty time. Puck all the way down on Hart, who flexed it ahead for Theodore. Theodore up the right wing. Anderson over red over blue. Rasmus Anderson to the right circle. Ran into a brick wall and Devon Taves. Puck to the far corner. Penalty time is up. Colorado able to clear the zone. Out of the box, Ross Colton couldn't get the puck, and play will continue, but it's a penalty kill for Colorado as Landeskog over the line tried to toss it rink wide. Off a leg, it deflected to McKinnon, who could not hold the puck. And it's backhanded back into the Vegas zone once again, nearing the midway portion of this first period. And we've got another stoppage on the ice here.
Looks like a penalty here coming up on Nick Dowd.
Yep, you're right. So Dowd will be escorted
Not
to the
happy
sin
about
bin.
it.
And Vegas couldn't get it done on the man advantage. Now they'll be shorthanded.
Not what you want here if you're Vegas. You had a good look on the power play to try to go up 1-0, and now you got to go here and face an Avs team that isn't ranked good on the power play, but they've scored 10 power play goals in their last 12 games. So when we return here, we're going to see if this Vegas PK could fend off a red-hot Avs power play.
Well, we'll see what the power play can get done. A power play unit can get done here for Colorado. Break in the action here. We're going to try to stay with you as much we can through breaks tonight. Don't hold us.
There's no issues when we come back. Everything's 90 seconds, so
Yeah.
hopefully it all stays on the same tracks here.
Yeah, and we're gonna also we're gonna hope to have no or as little dead air as possible. We'll try to conversate during breaks here. As best we can, which shouldn't be much of a problem considering all the things that are happening in the hockey world, Jaric. Busy day as we've got less than a full week left in the regular season.
And right now going out in Montreal, the Columbus Blue Jackets, this is must-win territory for them. They're up 4-1 on the road against the Habs, as at the moment, the captain Boone Jenner was able to get score the opening goal, and then as it stands, Charlie Coyle has the go-ahead marker, his 19th of the year. And also in that Metropolitan Division, the Flyers are up now 4-1 over the Winnipeg Jets, as Travis Sanheim's just scored his 11th of the year to put the Flyers up 3. So if this all stays the course, Philly would still hold the final playoff spot as it stands in the Metro, in the East, even though it's the third spot in the Metro. And then Columbus would end up being 2 points behind them as well if they come out of there with a win. And then Washington, just 1 point back of Philly. We got to look out for them. I'll be with you guys tomorrow for Washington and Pittsburgh. That's a big 2 points on the line for the Capitals.
Colorado on the power play. Offensive zone face-off to the right of Carter Hart out of the near circle. Colton Sissons against Brock Nelson, but now Nelson will be kicked out, replaced by the Colorado captain, Gabriel Landeskog.
Sounds like we're on par, Matt.
Very good. Vegas wins the draw. Behind the net, it's McNabb who delays, and now will sling it from our left to our right, length of the ice. Devon Taves back to claim it. And the Colorado power play, which ranks 25th in the NHL, will get started. Hard to believe They're that far down on the man advantage. Natchez cranks it through center to his left. McKinnon couldn't cleanly control that pass, and Vegas gets it out again. Taves will go back to the Colorado zone and reset. Hand for Natchez, a quarter of the way through the penalty time. Natchez flying up the far side at the red line, drops it back off for McKinnon, who makes a move over the line. Hands it off for Nelson. Top of the right circle, back to Taves, feeds it this way. Natchez a drive, and it took a deflection into the far corner boards and out to center. Taves will regather and reset this Colorado power play, going to work for the first time tonight. Taves gains entry over the line near left wing. Back to a trailer, Landeskog. Chip to the right circle, Nelson. High slot is McKinnon. Winds out to his right on the circle, played it across. Natchez on the dot, holds to McKinnon at the goal line. Inside a shot, stopped by Hart. Rebound to the top of the right circle. Taves back for Natchez, directed to the goal line. McKinnon on the puck. Wide of the dot of the left circle, holds, feeds it up top. Natchez in the high slot. Drifts to his right, hits the brakes, button hooks, and hands it off on the half wall. Devon Taves high to low for Brock Nelson. Nelson out on the perimeter, throws some snow, looks to his left, looks to his right, skates to the circle. Now Taves, long wrister, shot, scores! It eats up Carter Hart and gets through for the power play marker. Well, Carter Hart had it mostly stopped, but it squeezes through underneath the left arm, Jaric. 1-0.
Yeah, Devontae's third goal here of the season. Colorado now on the power play has struck 13 times, or I should say 11 times in their last 13 games, as they're red hot now all of a sudden on the power play, as that long shot from far out straight away just leaks through the midsection of Carter Hart, and a leaky goal gets Colorado on the board 1-0.
Avalanche strike on the power play to lead 1-0, and as play restarts and as the night continues, you'll learn we'll be changing play-by-play duties, and I'll hand it off to Jaric here as we reach just about the halfway point of the period.
So now out through center will come Tomas Hertl as the Knights are into the Colorado zone. Backdoor, Theodore tried to find Barbashev but couldn't connect with the pass. Is now in the near corner down to our right. Tomas Hertl with it. Fights off a man, that's Blankenberg. Played it to the point, Theodore. Now McNabb far side. Tried to give it off to Hertl. He had to hurry it down low to the far side. Nice touch pass, fine side at the far left wing dot. Up top, one-timer by McNabb. Shut down Blackwood, free in the slot. Cleaned away to Burns now. Up ahead, Colton touched it to the logo. Nick Wow carry. Down to our left on the far right wing boards. Nick Watt puts on the brakes at the circle. McNabb shook him off the puck and kicked it in behind, but it came right to an Av as it's now slung up to the point for Taves, who can't hold it. As now he resets and neutralizes the Avs and Golden Knights try and get some new bodies on. With 9:37 remaining here in the first period, Mitch Marner now for Vegas, bashing one into the far corner of the Colorado zone to our right. Around the goal, it goes to the near side. Korzak, a shot that got tipped by Eichel. It goes out of play. And that'll send this game to a timeout with 9:26 remaining here in the first period. Colorado up 1-0 on a long shot by Devon Taves that leaked through Carter Hart. A power play marker for the Avs, and they're in front at the halfway point of the first period.
Well, Colorado in front on the power play, and an early strike for the Avalanche. And I made mention, Jaric, before that, it's hard to really imagine that this Colorado team can be so far down on the power play with all the talent they have. That they might rank 25th, but that's not really how good they are on the man advantage, is it?
No, it's not. Like I mentioned, this power play is getting hot at the right time now as I pull out the handy-dandy game notes here, and it lets me know that their power play is, once I find it, I'm pretty sure I had the numbers right. They were able to strike now 11 times in their last 13 games. So, like we said, this power play is getting hot at the right time, and it's going to be a good time to get hot because right there in the top 5 with them are Vegas, who could be a first-round opponent, and then Minnesota and Dallas are also in the top 5, and you're guaranteed to see one of those teams within the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. So Colorado now finally matching what those other teams in the West could bring with the man advantage, which is very important on their end.
Yeah, for sure. Jaric and I handing play-by-play off to each other as the night continues on. making this fun. Also, many different things going on behind the scenes right now. We don't have JT here for the first, as we did for the first time we did this. so bear with us if the buttons are not hit in the correct order or as well as
Right.
they should be, because we don't have a producer this time. The producer is the play-by-player.
All right. It seems like I'm back here. Are you back on your
Yes.
feed? No? All right. It's going to show Torts, but as soon as it goes away from Torts, let me know and we will be
Yep.
synced up.
You are good to go. It did. I think we were back at the same time. We just weren't seeing the same thing, but we're good to go.
Okay. So 9:26 here in this opening period. Face off to the left here of Mackenzie Blackwood as Drury will step in. Supposed to be against Eichel, but he gets tossed. So in steps Mitch Marner. And now off a dramatic pause, the linesman's dropped the puck, and it's played to the near corner on a face-off win by Jack Drury and the Avalanche. And it'll be flipped down the ice by Brett Kulak down to the near corner on our left-hand side. Logan O'Connor put one up for Drury, who had a one-timer go off the pads of Hart. Now it's not cleared by Vegas. Now up the boards, it'll go on the right-hand side as Hannafin got it as far as the Colorado Blue. And now we have a stoppage in play here. Looks like a hand pass. And another whistle here with 9:07 to go in the first period. So you mentioned earlier, Matt, that Colorado has matched up with this Golden Knights team twice already this year. They've scored a combined 10 goals in those two games, outscoring Vegas 10-7, as we've seen a lot of goals between the two teams. And I mentioned with the Nordique sweaters as well, we've seen 7+ goals in all 8 previous meetings, or all 8 previous games with the Nordique sweaters. So we'll see here if this game provides the craziness that these two do head to head, and just have the Nordique sweaters add a little extra spice to it. So back underway here with under 9 minutes to go in the first period. Big Val scooting through neutral ice, has a step on Theodore. He gets in with a shot and drew a penalty here, as getting a stick in the midsection was Shea Theodore. And now going back to the power play here will be Colorado, 1-for-1 tonight. As out the center to make the call is referee Cody Beach. So this Colorado power play already 1-for-1 tonight. I mentioned this power play is red hot, getting hot at the right time. In Vegas here, they don't want to fall in a multi-goal deficit, because Colorado already scoring first is 42-5. So this team, when having the lead, is splendid, and they've never lost in regulation when leading through the first period either. They have a record of 30-0-4. So Vegas here definitely don't want to get in a multi-goal deficit, and definitely want to get that tying goal before you get to the intermission.
Yeah,
so face off here coming up to the right of Carter Hart. Nelson here on the draw against Waz. It's played now on the near side. Natchez down low, got it back for McKinnon, and a stuff attempt went past the glove side of a falling Carter Hart, who went backwards on his wallet. Meanwhile, at the left wing circle, it's McKinnon, feathered it back in the slot, tried to be grabbed by Landeskog, but got poked to Natchez, far right wing dot. This way it goes. McKinnon short side wrister, got the glass, as now it ricochets off the far wing back to center, and the Avalanche have to regroup. So Tays will leave it off at their own blue line with 30 seconds gone by on the power play. McKinnon tried to feed it back for Natchez on the far wing, but misfired. So a rare power play icing here on Colorado with 1:26 to go on the man advantage.
You were talking a minute ago, this is a great front-running Colorado team. Like you said, they don't lose from ahead very rarely, and they nearly doubled that lead right off the face-off.
So face off here now to the left of Blackwood, a defensive zone draw here with the power play. Nelson against Dowd for the draw. As now the linesman says, I don't like that. We'll try this all over again. And now off the second attempt. Linesman here is pausing quite a bit. It's a long pause, but it's won finally by Dowd and the Golden Knights. And they'll kill some clock here in their defensive zone. And now it's snapped right back the other side, down to our right behind the Colorado net. So 75 seconds remain on the Colorado power play. 8 minutes remain in the first period. Colorado up 1-0 as McKinnon through center on the far wing. Sends it on the left wing side for Natchez. Pulls up at the circle, fed it to the point. Tays straight away. Back to Natchez. Left wing boards, bobbled it, got it back. Put it down low for Landeskog, but it's poked off his blade. Colas are out of play. But the linesman says, Matt, that puck was deflected. So no dreaded delay of game penalty there on the Knights.
And this has been a bit of a messier power play than the first. That's someone with a Bob Ross shirt on, by the way, that has gained that puck. That's terrific to see.
Love it. True artiste here in Colorado. So we'll see what this Avs power play could do here in the dying seconds of it. This Vegas PK's done a good job so far on this second attempt. As now, what do you know, Matt? Another faulty face-off here. As these linesmen are taking full control of these face-offs here tonight. So it'll be Brett Howden having to slide in now for Vegas as Marner will get kicked out. And now off the draw to the right of Carter Hart. He'll be opposed by Nick Watt. Went right on net, and did that go in? The Avs celebrated. It's under Hart. It didn't. Now it's scooped up Landeskog. Far wing, up to the right point. McKinnon, a wrister, blocked in front. Landeskog follow-up, cleared away by McNabb. On the far wing, Wow, keep it. To the back straight away, it's Devon Tays, already with one tonight. To the far circle, McKinnon. Down low, Landeskog, a tough stuff attempt. Poked through the slot. Came to Natchez. Scoots his way to the far wall. Now back up to the point straight away. This way, McKinnon faked a one-timer. Left wing circle. Puck poked off his blade by the Golden Knights and sent down the ice by Lazone. And that'll create under 20 seconds now to go on this Colorado power play.
Wild
So
scramble.
Natchez at... Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, wild scramble right there, right off the face-off.
Now straight away, Burns can't keep it. A pass ahead for Eichel, short-handed, out of his reach. Could have been a breakaway, but it came to Blackwood, who sticked it on the left wing side, Landeskog. 3 seconds left on the Colorado power play. In straightaways, McKinnon. He'll let it go from between the circles, and a save made from the butterfly position by Carter Hart, as he'll squeeze that. And even though he made a butterfly save and the puck hit him in the pads, somehow his headgear came off.
He's still trying to catch his breath from how that face-off ended up underneath him.
It looks like it went off the skate of Marner on the face-off by Vegas and almost leaked through the 5-hole of Carter Hart there, but he had the presence of mind to squeeze the legs tight behind him, and that puck squirted out the other side of the blue paint to the far corner. Face off right by that far corner down to our left. Won by the Avalanche. Burns tried a flip shot from the point, but it got blocked by Barbashev. Ricochets back into Colorado ice now. On the near side, Lehkonen played it ahead. A drop past Nelson into the zone for Nichushkin. His shot off a leg. Back to him. Ricochet to the far corner. Nelson gets stick checked nicely by Korzak there. Korzak, while falling, couldn't keep it, and it looks like a penalty's going to be called.
That's tripping.
Because I think Nelson's going to get tagged for a trip, Matt. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be tripping on Nelson. He got his stick tangled up. Man, having to hit the penalty button a lot here tonight.
Right?
Behind the scenes talk.
Let's see. Ooh, I think that's a bad call here by the officials, Matt. On the replay, it looks like it was barely a love tap to the left skate of Korzak, and I think he just lost his balance no matter what. Nelson's not happy with it, and I think he has a pretty good case to be mad. So Vegas back to the power play here. 0 for 1 so far in this game tonight, as this faceoff will take place to the right of Mackenzie Blackwood. And it'll be Hurdle against Drury for this draw. Got Colorado's PK tops in the NHL. Vegas power play is 5th in all of hockey. They win the draw. To the right circle, Dorofeyev played it off the side of the goal. Stone will ring it around to Eichel on the far left wing boards. Up straight away, Marner flipped it to the net. It came to Stone, a backhand scores! It took 12 seconds on the power play, and Mark Stone, with 3 goals in his last 2 games now, has tied this game for the Golden Knights.
Well, we're heading towards having a very chaotic game here, Jaric.
It's the Nordiques jerseys, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I guess it is. This is a pretty normal face-off off of a power play, good puck movement, but then all of a sudden it just starts ping-ponging around off of that attempt by Marner. High off a stick, right to the edge of the crease. It finds Stone. He has to come down with a dribble almost with it. And then able
Double
to find
deflection here. It looks like off of Dorofeyev in the slot, came to Stone on top of the paint, and the double deflection didn't go in. Stone had to follow up on it, and it was the backhand on the third tip, so to speak, that beat Blackwood for the tying goal. So that goal comes with 6:12 to go in the first period. We're all even here at Ball Arena, a goal apiece. Colorado gets possession off the ensuing faceoff, but a backhand by Brett Kulak got turned over to Colton Sissons, who's away for Vegas. Past the penalty boxes, now straight into the Colorado zone. Spins at the far left wing circle. Saad tipped a pass to the right wing dot, and a shot there by Rasmus Anderson's gobbled up by Blackwood. And with 5:52 to go, that'll send us to our final first period timeout, as Vegas has tied this game on the road on the power play, courtesy Mark Stone. Special teams, a big part of this one early in Colorado.
Fun start. Very fun start that we've had here, and I'm interested watching this Colorado team because we were talking before we went on, Jaric, President's Trophy already clinched. How much is there really to gain from this game for this team? But they have come out. Doesn't look like it doesn't look like it's out to be a test session for them. Not really sitting anyone.
We talked about in the open, this is a potential first round matchup if somehow it happens. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And if I'm Colorado, it's weird because it's like, yeah, dress rehearsal for a potential first round matchup, but two, do we want to beat these guys and potentially have them be our first round opponent? Like, yeah, careful what you wish for. Maybe LA or any of them gets the better of them, but I think Colorado wipes anybody but Vegas in the first round. So it's kind of interesting how this could play out for both of these teams with the result of this one.
Yeah, you're right about that. So we'll get play restarted here shortly. And tied at 1.
And a reminder to all of our listeners here, I'll be live tomorrow for the Penguins and Capitals. Could it be the final home game for Alex Ovechkin? We don't know. Could it be the final time we see Sid versus Ovi? We don't know. But it'll be right here at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then, Matt, you'll have the Food City 500 at Bristol at 3 Eastern as well.
Yeah, NASCAR at Bristol for the first time this season. That will be fun. Always unpredictable.
Hopefully they don't run out of food like they did for the Speedway Series in baseball.
Oh, goodness. Not a good memory.
You think the rumors could be true that we see a Nashville, Carolina Stadium Series or Winter Classic there one of these years?
Here's hoping. That would be great to see.
It would. I think that would be very entertaining. We're back here on the ice. 5:52 to go in the first, Matt. As a faceoff is won by Tomas Hertl. Hope we're right on par. As Vegas threw one towards the Colorado net, but it missed the net off the stick of Shea Theodore. And it's thrown back out the center by Brent Burns. Vegas will try to reset, but it's turned over to Nelson. Right ends Nichushkin, a shot and a save by Hart. It hit him right in that Vegas crest on his chest. And now back out the center with the loose pucks. Hertl on the near wing over the Colorado line. Got poke checked. Kept in at the moment by Saad, but instead it hit Natchez in stride to center. Marty Natchez over the line, down low. Here's Blankenberg, a stuff attempt off the left pad of Hart from a tough angle that didn't have a chance. And now to our left in the trapezoid, McNabb has the biscuit. 5:15 remaining here in this opening period. It's been a high-octane opening period. 2 power plays for each, a power play goal for each team, as we are even here in an important Western Conference game between 2 heavyweights. Down to our right, in the far corner of the Colorado zone, a free puck ends up in position of Cole Smith, but he backhanded it to the slot, and it found Devon Tays. So Colorado will get their possession back, and behind the net, it'll be Malinsky from the far wall, playing it between the benches. Having a moment there with Colorado was Lehkonen getting tied up, so Vegas ends up with the puck. And now on the near side, Kolazar over the Colorado line gave it to Cole Smith. Cole Smith on the near half boards, got punched away by Landeskog with the poke check. Out the center now, it'll be McKinnon playing it far wall. Lehkonen will backhand it down low while absorbing a hit. Puck now in possession of Korzak for Vegas. Just got it back out to neutral ice. And now Colorado will take back over. 4:19 left here in the first period. On the near side, a loose puck comes back in possession of the Golden Knights. Marner on the near side by the Colorado blue line. Couldn't get over that line. And now Mark Stone with the goal tonight decides he'll just dump it in. And instead of a controlled zone entry, Vegas will dump and chase. Doesn't work for him. Doesn't seem to work for a lot of teams in this league nowadays, as they chase back now in their own zone for the loose puck. And on the far wall, it snapped back into Colorado ice. In the near corner, Stone hunts it down, put it on top of the paint for Howden, but it didn't make it to the net. Grabbed in the loose slot now by Parker Kelly. Kelly now on the far wall for O'Connor. Tried to feed it back to him. Got knocked back to Blankenberg. Twisting his way into the Vegas zone to the far circle. A shot went over the net. Came on the near side for Barbashev. Dropped it behind the goal for Theodore. And now out the center, the puck's played by Vegas. Almost came into possession of Colorado, but it found Barbashev on the near side over the Colorado line. Left it for Dorofeyev. Waugh, though, a good check there, knocked him off the puck. Is now down to our right in the near corner. Waugh played it up ahead in the slot for Blankenberg. He'll get out past his own bench at center, dump it in from the red line as it's kitty quartered into the near side of the Vegas zone to our left. Behind that Vegas net, Dorofeyev ends up with that puck as Kiviranta got run out of the play, as now it's sent up the right wing boards for Barbashev. Getting jostled around here by Waugh in front of the penalty box. Puck free to Devon Tays, as now he'll look ahead as his team changes, and he'll wait in his own zone here with under 3 minutes to go in period one. Malinsky now played it straight ahead. Natchez left wing. Nelson a tip on net and a save by Hart with the right pad. He lost his stick there when he made the save, as that was a bit of an awkward stop in the butterfly position, but it remains a 1-1 game after that try by Nelson.
That's good. Good heads-up play by Hart in net. Nelson kind of just sneaking in there. It's a great dish by Natchez. And Nelson with a great opportunity right out in front. Good stop by Hart.
Face off now to the right of Carter Hart, down to our left, as it'll be Nelson winning the draw clean. Played it to the back for Tays. Straight away Natchez to the far wall. Malinsky back up top. Natchez, a one-timer save made by Hart. He wants to cover. He sticks it back to himself and will. As with 2:32 now to go in the first, he will get the whistle.
I didn't think he had that on the attempt to reach out and get it. I didn't think he had it, but he did. He did a good job stabbing it.
And Carter Hart here, he's earned his third straight win. That came on Tuesday against the Canucks since returning from injury. And during the stretch, he's posted a .923 save percentage with a 1.67 goals against average. That ranks fourth and second, respectively, among NHL goaltenders who have made 3 or more starts in the last 2 weeks. So Carter Hart playing good here. For Vegas, is now looks like Landeskog. I thought we were going to have a fight off the draw. He just lost his left glove. And now he'll head to change as Vegas is with the biscuit the other way. Far left side over the Colorado line. Hanifin put one off the side of the net. Puck came to the far corner. Howden tried to leave it in the trapezoid, but nobody's home for Vegas. And now flubbing a clearing attempt was Tays, as he got nothing on that clear, as Lehkonen will have to hurry it behind the net for Malinsky. Kolazar tried to cream him behind, but the Avs will get out. Nichushkin on the left wing side over the Vegas line will drop it for McKinnon, protecting at the left wing circle across. Oh, and a save made by Hart on a Nichushkin one-timer, as there was stuff everywhere on the near side looking like a yard sale, and then waiting on the far side was Nichushkin, and there was about 3 white sweaters converging on McKinnon on the near side, leaving Nichushkin alone, and a good save by Carter Hart.
It's a tremendous save by Carter Hart. Talking about stabbing it, he stabbed that one with the glove. McKinnon with a great cross-crease feed there on the backhand, and Hart with a couple of big saves right in a row here.
All 4 Vegas defenders in the zone at the time had their heads turned to McKinnon, forgetting about Nichushkin, and Carter Hart bailing his boys out. But the D-zone draw for Vegas is won by Hurdle, and back down the ice it goes to our right in Colorado's end. Now down in the trapezoid, Hurdle trying to get free from Nick Blankenberg, protecting on his backhand, twisted one for Sissons, trying to shake free to the slot, but he's forced to the near wall. He'll ring that puck behind the goal. Be protected by Brandon Saad, a 2-time Stanley Cup champion with the Chicago Blackhawks. Played one on top of the paint, as now a penalty is going to be coming up here again, Matt, and this one I believe is going to go on Vegas, as they had possession when the whistle went.
Yeah, this is on Vegas, right out in front.
So a dreaded ozone penalty here on Colton Sissons, as now he'll go take a seat. And Colorado, 1 for 2 on the power play tonight, will get another crack at it.
Let's see, it went off. Oh, yeah, he's tripped Blankenberg. It went off the
bad penalty to take.
Stick of Blackwood, and then Sissons ends up getting tripped. Or Sissons commits the trip, rather, on Blankenberg. Well, I don't know if it's tripping, but he certainly sent him down with a cross check.
Yeah, they got him in the numbers with the cross check. That's what the call will be. Colorado to the power play. 75 seconds remaining in the first. As Vegas gets possession off a draw, McNabb clears, and Colorado will scoot back. So 1 for 2 tonight on the power play. 3 shots as one went in. As now with under a minute to go in the first period, McKinnon through all 3 lines at center. Poke checked there nicely by Stone. As now back goes Colorado again. Here's Devon Tays, just slowly skating in his own zone, left it at the near circle for Natchez. He swings out to center straight away over the red line. Now the Vegas Blue almost lost possession, but got it nicely to Nelson at the far right wing. Dropped it to McKinnon, backhanded this way, left wing dot Natchez. Up top, now McKinnon working his way into the left wing circle. Half a minute to go in the first period. In the slot, here's a shot, Landeskog, shot down there in the slot by Vegas as they come up with the key block and clear it down the ice. 20 seconds left in the first period, a minute to go on the Colorado power play. Up the left wing, Landeskog over the Vegas line, shut down by Stone again. Down the ice, it's cleared. And now final 10 of the period. Behind the Colorado nets, Brock Nelson, as we'll see if he has enough time to get something for the Avs. Nope, it went off a Tays' skate, and that will end up killing off the remainder of period number 1. So 1-1 our score here, Matt, through 20 minutes of play, a pair of power play goals. Devon Tays for the Avalanche with his third of the season. Mark Stone for the Vegas Golden Knights as he's up to 27 on the year. That's second on this VGK team. Fun opening 20 minutes here tonight in Ball Arena.
Yeah, really good first period, real fun period. Vegas, of course, knowing what they need to do to get into the playoffs, and as we've talked about already a couple of times tonight, could be a playoff matchup, whether it's first round, it could be a playoff matchup somewhere down the stretch.
Absolutely.
And Vegas doesn't want to end the regular season not having a win against these guys. If they do end up meeting up in the playoffs, they want to just put that hint of doubt in the back of Colorado's mind. So that is the end of the first period. And let's see. Dealer's choice here, Jarek. You want to step away? You want to go through scores? We didn't talk about this. We're doing it all on the fly, don't you know?
I'm cool to hang out here. If you could cover the scores real quick, my phone's at like 2%,
Yes.
so I kind of want to throw it on the charger. I'll give me 10 seconds. I'm gonna plug this in and I'll be right back.
Yes. So we'll go through the scores of the day in the NHL. As we talked about, a big day on this Saturday with less than a week to go in the regular season. So let's go through the finals from earlier in the day. It started with Tampa in Boston. Big matchup there between two teams. Certainly Tampa heading towards the playoffs. Boston started the day looking like a virtual lock. We'll talk more about that as we go on. Boston got out in front early through Morgan Geekie scoring his 38th of the year. Put the Bruins up 1-0 midway through the second period, but Tampa was able to draw back level in the third. Brandon Hagel's 36th of the year made it 1-1, and then with about a minute and a half to go, it was Emil Lilleberg getting the winner for the Lightning as Tampa Bay goes into Boston and gets a 2-1 victory. Big victory for the Lightning, of course.
And that one,
Yeah, go ahead.
that one for the Bruins, Matt, because just last week they played in Tampa. It was a 5 p.m. Eastern start, 4 Central, but Boston led that game 1-0 late into the second period, and I believe they even led going into the third. And Tampa, again, just 2 goals late, were able to prevail in that third period, and that's got to be frustrating if you're Boston, because you think you have them for most of the game, and all season they led 5-1 against Tampa Bay in that Stadium Series game, which we had here on the Ultimate Sports Media Network, or Media YouTube channel. Still getting used to that. But that happened, and then the 2 games the past week here against Tampa, like that's tough if you're a Bruins fan. It's like you feel like you've had them. You had them up, you were up big early in the Stadium Series game. You led 1-0 in a tight checking game for the last 2 weeks, and you still come up empty-handed against that team. So don't want to play them in the first round if you're the Bruins, is my guess.
Yeah, for sure. Tampa able to get the win and the 2 points. They're in that rock'em sock'em robot fight for the Atlantic Division title along with Buffalo and Montreal. So a 2-1 victory on the road for the Lightning, getting the victory in Boston. Ottawa and the New York Islanders, both, of course, in this wild playoff race in the East. And Jaric, it was all Ottawa in this one, despite getting outshot 23-16. Islanders did all the Islanders played all the hockey. Senators did all the scoring. As Ottawa comes away with a 3-0 victory. Jake Sanderson with a power play goal. Michael Amadio an empty netter late. 3-0 Ottawa with the victory.
Yeah, this Ottawa team, I don't want to be like too over the top, but they would like honestly like if they match up with Carolina in the first round, and Matt, I know you know what I'm going to say, but like again, I apologize because I know you're a Canes fan, but I think they're the only team that could beat Carolina in the first round. And if they go through the Atlantic, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's like if they beat Carolina in that first round, I don't think it's crazy to say that they'd be in the Eastern Conference Final. Because then you're playing Pittsburgh or whoever they end up playing in that series, the 2-3, if they beat Carolina. It's just like, wow. And the Ottawa teams, it's a bunch of men. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
shot suppress so well. Allmark, he doesn't have the greatest playoff numbers, so the jury's still out on his goaltending in the postseason. But this Ottawa team's sneaky. And I don't think regular fans are talking enough about them, but Vegas definitely knows. They're the third like favorite to win the East. They're third to win the East, and they have the sixth lowest odds to win the Stanley Cup. And even to me, somebody who really likes this team is surprised to see that the odds makers are so in on Ottawa, and they have all the pieces. I really think they're a dangerous out in the playoffs, but the fact they're getting respect from the odds makers definitely raises my eyebrow a bit because their path could actually be all right to surprise some teams.
Really crushing loss for the Islanders. More on that in a
Dude,
moment.
well, we could talk about the Islanders right now because
Okay.
I don't want to like cut you off, but yeah, that is a crushing loss for the Islanders. But the saving grace at the time was, hey, maybe Philly loses, but they're up 4-1 right now against Winnipeg, so that's very unlikely to happen. So looks like the Islanders are going to end up being eliminated. They're not mathematically eliminated yet, but I don't think this is a lost season. I don't think if you're an Islander fan, you should be displeased. I think that the coaching change is actually perfect, and Pete DeBoer has had such good success everywhere he's gone. 6 of the last 7 years, he's made the conference finals, and in his first year in New Jersey, he made the Cup final. First year in San Jose, Cup final. First year in Vegas conference final, first year in Dallas conference final. So the last 4 places he's been, it's been an immediate turnaround. And next year, I wouldn't like why can't the Islanders do something special? So I wouldn't be too down about it if I'm an Islander fan. If you're hearing this right now, I think next year is actually a very good, optimistic season for the guys out on Long Island.
Washington and Pittsburgh, always a story when those two teams play. They played earlier today in a game in Pittsburgh where the Penguins' number one priority may not have been winning the game, let's say. Washington outshot Pittsburgh 31-12. I believe I have it right. The Penguins had 1 shot on goal in the entire first period. Plenty of goals, though. Goals fest. Washington winning it 6-3 as the Capitals try to stay in this playoff race. Jaric Ovechkin did get a goal, empty netter at the end to put it away. So Washington trying to keep chugging along and stay in this race. Big 2 points today with a win on the road.
Very big 2 points, and you kind of made the little reference saying, like, so to speak, Pittsburgh wasn't trying to win this game. I thought that before going in and before they like announced everybody was out for the game, I was like, man, imagine there's like a gentleman's agreement going on here to where it's like, hey, Ovi, like maybe Sid knows Ovi's done, right? He's like, hey, why not a playoff series? Like we'll let you get the points. We'll see if the things go your way. But it's very fascinating because if Washington wins tomorrow, then these next 2 games for Philadelphia, they have Carolina on Monday. And you mentioned we were talking Carolina needs at least a point to clinch home ice in the Eastern Conference. So they're not going to go away quite yet in that matchup. And the fact that it's Monday, not a Tuesday, Wednesday helps because Buffalo plays on Monday as well. So everything will get sorted out as to who will be tops in the Eastern Conference. I guess Montreal has that game in hand on Tuesday, but they're losing tonight, so that might not end up mattering. But overall, Washington, man, we got to look out for them. They get 2 points tomorrow. Things could get really interesting. And I just don't think people are even talking about that they could actually still get in. I think everybody's focused on Columbus. They focused on the Flyers because they were really hot. They focused on Columbus, the Flyers, the Islanders now because they made the coaching change and Matthew Schaefer special. But like the Capitals, 2 years ago, Matt, you called that Flyers Capitals game, and I was on Red Wings Canadians. Boy, were there two dramatic finishes for different reasons in those games. And Washington's backdoor to last day playoff berth, seemingly undeserving once already in these last 2 years under Carberry. It can happen again.
They, of course, play again tomorrow. We'll have it here on the channel. Kings and Oilers. They've met in the playoffs for what feels like the last decade. Especially for Kings fans, I'm sure it's felt that long. But it was the Kings coming out on top. Artemi Panarin had the only goal of the game, an unassisted goal in the first period. LA 1-0 over Edmonton. Big result there as well.
Yeah, nice breakaway marker from Artemi Panarin going top shelf under the bar for the lone goal of the game. And it's worth noting as well that is the final home game, at least in the regular season, in the career of Anze Kopitar. So a bunch of old teammates and friends were in the building to help celebrate that moment in LA. They had a big ceremony before puck drop, and Anton Forsberg had a huge performance in net for the Kings, shut down the Edmonton Oilers, and after that final horn sounded, got a huge hug from Drew Doughty in the blue paint. So you know how much that game meant to the LA Kings. That locker room really wanted to get it done for Kopitar, and now they're pretty comfortably, they just, in my opinion, need about a win to get into a playoff spot. Nashville's still behind them, but these Nashville games are going to be tough. Anaheim's still battling for position. San Jose is kind of out of it, so Nashville might actually get another. They've won 15 straight against them, so might as well make it 16. But LA, just about 3 points, I think, away from saying that they're in the playoffs.
Predators did beat the Wild today 2-1. Steven Stamkos and Matthew Wood getting the goals for Nashville to beat Minnesota. St. Louis went on the road in Chicago, beat the Blackhawks 5-3, and Dallas beat New York 2-0. Jason Robertson getting both of the goals, 43 and 44 for him on the season to beat the Rangers. The big result of the day in many people's eyes, there were big results that we've already covered, but perhaps this is the biggest of them, Jaric. In Detroit, Devils 5, Red Wings 3, in a game in which Detroit led multiple times. They led 1-0, they led 2-1, they led 3-2 in the third period. Oh my gosh. They talk about the miserable marches of late in Detroit. Well, it was a miserable March again, and it bled into April, and now these Red Wings, who have been in a playoff position for, like 80, almost 90% of the season, it feels, that loss has kicked them out. Not out of a playoff spot. They're done. They cannot get back in. The playoff drought will continue in Detroit. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is I'm from Chicago. I'm not supposed to feel for Detroit fans or any of this, and here I am with the Colorado gear on, so they're not going to feel for Detroit fans either. But I mean, you think about how they got eliminated 2 years ago, right? We had the games here on USN. There was Canadians Red Wings. They were down 4-3 with the final 10 seconds of regulation. They need a win to get into the playoffs. They would eventually need other help, which I'll get to. But Perron ties that game with about 5 seconds left, and they win it in the shootout. They got the miracle 2 points they needed to break that playoff drought. Now, at the other end, the Washington Capitals need 2 or at least a point to clinch against the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Flyers need a regulation win against the Capitals to get in. All three of those teams, the Red Wings, Capitals, and Flyers, are battling for playoff spots. The Red Wings do the unthinkable and win that game. And then what happens? The Flyers need a regulation win. So when they're tied at 1-1 with the Capitals, John Tortorella, coaching tonight, pulls the goalie in Philadelphia. Capitals empty netter, kills Detroit's playoff hopes. Heartbreaker. And then last year, the Stadium Series game, I think, was the end-all, be-all for them with the high stick and the slew foot by Justin Danforth of the Blue Jackets, and then goes and scores the game winner on the same play. Penalty not called. That was brutal. And then just the Canadians' hot streak really crushed the Red Wings. And then this year, this game against the Devils here tonight, and then the game on on Tuesday against the Blue Jackets, up 3-2 late in regulation. 17 seconds remain when Adam Fantilli ties it, and then Zach Werenski wins it in the shootout. And that is Detroit misery.
It's unbelievable that they have been out of the playoffs for this long, and as you just touched on, it's been unbelievable to see how they've missed the playoffs the past few years, and this year could be the worst of them all. What an absolute meltdown down the stretch of the season for these Red Wings, who have officially been eliminated. Another final from earlier today: Carolina 4-1 win on the road in Salt Lake City over the playoff-bound Mammoth. Of course, Carolina is trying to get the number one spot overall in the East. Andrei Svechnikov, Jordan Staal, Sebastian Aho, and Sean Walker get the goals for Carolina. Real quick before we get back to action here, as we only have, a couple minutes left in the intermission. The game's
Four
going
and a
on.
half. I mean,
Okay, very good. Yeah, we
we
do.
got some extra time.
Yeah, it's right on screen. I should know that. Game's going on as we speak. Florida, they've got a 3-2 lead in Toronto. A couple of eliminated teams there. The Flyers are heading to victory in Winnipeg. They lead the Jets 5-1. That's early in the third. Seattle leads Calgary 3-1. That's kind of middle portions of the third. And the really important one going on concurrent to us, Jaric, is Columbus and Montreal. Blue Jackets are out shooting the Canadiens by a 2-1 ratio. They're also outscoring them basically by a 2-1 ratio, but it's a 4-2 Columbus lead. They are 5 minutes into the third period.
Mr. Saturday Night. It's Cole Caulfield again. Got another one here on Saturday, up to 51 on the year for the kid. And let's look at these goal scorers. Okay, so Josh Anderson, ex-Blue Jacket, nice revenge goal. But this Canadians team, I did the TikTok previews. If you guys want to follow us on TikTok, he is Matthew Owens, PXP. I am Jaric Does PXP. I think the Canadians are just a one-trick pony. And they're exciting. They're an electric team, and I really like their future. They're going to be good for many years to come. But right now, their only offense is coming from Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slavkovsky. They occasionally get depth scoring, but the third and fourth lines basically done nothing. Demidov's been good at times with Newhook, but I just think that teams like Buffalo and Tampa, who are bigger and nastier and I think can adjust, are just going to be able to take them out, and that's going to be their downfall in the playoffs. But to this game tonight, the Blue Jackets here, they're still reeling, and this Canadians team, when they're in comeback mode, once they start getting a little bit of life in the Bell Center, I wouldn't be too shocked if me and you look down at this app at the first commercial break and see that it's 4-4.
We'll see. That's obviously an enormous game.
Montreal wants that division. You can't tell them. They do not want to see Tampa or Buffalo in the first round.
No.
That's just too heavy a hockey.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right about that. They want to win the division. It's up for grabs right now. That Atlantic Division race is incredible. And, of course, still in the mix, possibly the Atlantic Division for the number one seed in the East if they could get enough help from the teams that play Carolina next week. Yeah, we'll see. It's the East.
I don't think so. I don't want to just shut down, but I think Carolina will have the tiebreaker in regulation wins, because if Montreal wins this game, they'd be at 106. They can only max out at 110. So Carolina's just got to worry about Buffalo, which is nice for you.
So yes, you're right. Yeah, now that you say that out loud, it's right. So it's Buffalo versus Carolina for that
Correct.
one spot. Yes, very good. Carolina.
Oh, Tampa, I guess, is live. No, Tampa.
I don't think so.
106. No, they're not. They could max out at 108. Yeah. So yeah, Carolina and Buffalo.
Carolina on the road to close out their regular season next week in Philadelphia and on Long Island.
Have you returned to ABC broadcast?
I have.
All right. I'm looking at a breakdown of Carter Hart.
Yes, indeed.
Where are you at?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we're at the point with a shot coming through and then Blackwood giving up the goal. So, all right. We're all good? We're even?
We are good to go.
All right. So, everybody, period two set to begin from Ball Arena. Goals in that first period, each scored on the power play. It was Devon Tays opening the scoring for the Colorado Avalanche as he got his third of the year, assisted by Brock Nelson and Marty Necas. Then Mark Stone, power play marker, 27th of the year from him, from Hurdle and Marner. Looking forward to this second period here, Matt. Colorado going to have some carryover power play time.
42 seconds. And Jaric will take you through the first part of this period.
So Colorado, Nelson to take this draw against Dowd, as Dowd wins it clean down to the right in Vegas defensive territory as it slapped down to Colorado ice. Vegas going right to left in this second period. Colorado going left to right in the middle frame as under a half minute now remains on the Avs power play. Is on the far left wing. Nelson chipped one into the Vegas zone to the far corner. It rolls around the goal. On the near side, Nate just got roughhoused down to the ice. Meanwhile, McNabb put it up the left wing boards and down the ice. So Baker's dozen remaining for this Colorado power play as Devon Tays collects through the trapezoid. Skates up now through neutral for Manson, and Manson will snap it in from in front of the benches. 2 seconds and 1 on the Avs power play. Back to even strength we go as Stone flips a puck back to the logo at center, and Manson will snap it back in for the Avs as the Avalanche get some changes with a minute gone by here in period number 2. So puck down here to the Colorado zone to our left, as up the right wing boards it'll go. Nick Waugh played it up ahead for Lehkonen, trying to get over the line. Played it in front for Nichushkin, but it was out of his reach. And now Hannafin takes him up against the boards and down to the ice. As down to our right, a nice takeaway by Marner sent Eichel up. Tried to hit Stone on the far wall. It bounced off his stick as he'll just flip it back out to center. A turnover by Manson ends up, though, on the blade of Kulak as Marner couldn't field it cleanly. But now he took it away from Kulak with a stick lift. Now Eichel tried to fight it across now for Stone, but it's intercepted by Parker Kelly in the Avalanche as now he scoots from west to east on the near side into the Vegas zone. Put it into the near corner, put right back up into his gut. But Kelly tried to play it to the point. It's intercepted by Vegas. And now out to center's Korzak. Over the Colorado line, put it far right wing for Dorofeev. Shielding on his backhand, cutting behind the trapezoid. Got met by Burns, but pivoted on him and played it to the far wing. And a shot by Barbashev blocked back to him. And another shot got blocked in front by Burns. To the far wall, Colorado's Nichushkin trying to clear. Can't. Came near the slot for Dorofeev. Slid it with one arm to the near point. Shot by Korzak. Shot down by Blackwood. Left wing circle. They score! A trigger pull from Dorofeev. Caught Blackwood off guard. And Vegas with a 2-1 lead here early in the second. So Pavel Skorofeyev, 36 goals on the year for him. And what a shot from the near left wing circle, Matt. It was kind of similar to the try Barbashev put off the post in the first period. And this time it gets past Blackwood to the far post upstairs.
And you called it right. It's such a quick trigger pull here by Dorofeev, who's now got a new career high in goals with his 36th of the year. But yeah, that's on and off of his stick. Ultra quick. That's a spectacular goal. Back and forth we go.
So that goal coming just over 2 minutes into the second period as we resume play. Colorado trailing now 2-1 on home ice to the Vegas Golden Knights as VGK here with possession down to our right in their defensive zone. Played up the ice. This will end up going for an icing though, as don't know where that was going. But the whistle goes with 17:32 remaining in period 2.
Well, Dorofeev having a career year, as we talked about already, a new career high in points scored. This now sets him into a new career high in goals, and I don't know if anyone looked at him to get to have a season to get this close to 40 goals. Mike could still get there.
It all started with a hat trick opening night against the Los Angeles Kings. As again, a lot of these goals have come on the power play for him. This one at even strength, but 19 now of his 36 goals have come on the power play as he's one away from 20 and off a draw here. Too hard a turnover. Almost came in possession of Lehkonen, but the Golden Knights here avoid disaster as they'll get out through center instead. Theodore on the far wall in the Colorado zone, played it down to the near corner, slung up to the point from Sissons to Hannafin. Left wing circle, his shot tried to go again, upstairs far post on Blackwood, but that time he got it with the glove. And he'll take a whistle with 17-12 to go in the middle period.
Worth mentioning, perhaps, Mackenzie Blackwood has never beaten the Golden Knights in his career. Four starts, 4 regulation losses for Blackwood in his career against Vegas. This is the first time he's playing them this year, but now a lead for Vegas. You mentioned, we talked about it earlier, Colorado, a great front-running team. They've given up a lead here tonight, though.
You are right. We mentioned as Colorado gets possession off a D-zone draw to the right of Blackwood. Manson tried to play it up, but turned it over, so I'll hold my thought on the Colorado stats as here's Marner, far right wing, played it to the net, went through to the near side. Hannafin will play it back down low. Eichel bunted it to the far corner from behind the net, and up the wall it came to be kept at the moment by Rasmus Andersson. Backhanded to the near wall, Eichel generated space in the slot. Stone a shot and a paddle save made by Blackwood. Rebound to the near corner to our left. Kiviranta trying to clear, turned it over instead. Marner short side, a shot, got the glass, ricocheted to the far side. Stone put it back down low. This Vegas top line's applying a lot of pressure here to Colorado at the moment. But meanwhile, the Avs will clear as Kulak was able to get it out to center. But now the fourth line's on for Vegas, and they re-enter the Colorado territory. Kolazar put it behind the goal. Trying to get theirs Nick Dowd. Slug it from behind the goal to the left point. Trying to look for a tip at the moment there was Lazone, but he didn't get it. And it's ricocheted back out to center. No icing here on Colorado as 16 minutes remain in the second period. That nugget on Colorado, I mentioned they have 40 wins, 2 losses, and 5 overtime losses when scoring first. Vegas 14, 22, and 10 when giving up the first goal. But Colorado, it's very rare to see them fall behind when scoring the first goal and lose a game. So we'll see if Vegas is able to do what not many teams have done this season. Now an icing is going to be whistled here with 15:43 to go on Colorado. So faceoff will head back down to our left in the offensive zone for the Golden Knights.
Blankenberg just before that got what looked to be a forearm up high.
These refs, some of these games have not had a lot of calls and they're letting them play, but this one tonight has had a lot. So to your point, it's kind of surprising. There's no mention of a referee calling a penalty after that. As a face-off here to the right of Blackwood will commence between Brett Howden and Brock Nelson. Jaric Rubel and Matthew Owens with you, by the way, on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube channel. So glad you're with us. Saturday night primetime NHL watch-along as Barbashev fed one through the blue paint from the near corner for Dorofeyev, but he couldn't connect. As now from behind on the near side, it's played up to the point. McNabb, his flip shot got cut off in behind. Now it came to the far wall. The Avs will escape the center, overskating it, those Nichushkin. So now Howden will twist it back on the logo. Dorofeyev's in straight away. Tried a shot off the left pad of Blackwood. It'll go. Came to Blankenberg. Shot it off the far glass. It'll roll down the ice tip, so no icing, says the linesman, as both teams will get a change with 15:06 remaining in period 2. Played up straight ahead through center by Vegas, but right into possession of Devontae's. Fed it to Malinsky on the near side, who had trouble with it. Now Vegas trying to force a turnover, but Hurdle couldn't keep it. As now out the center's O'Connor, stripped of it by Hurdle nicely, and it's taken by Sissons into the zone. Sada backhander, and that didn't make it to the net. Behind the Colorado net to our left. Drury played it up the wall, but right to Hurdle. Played back to the corner. Drury will shoot it behind the Colorado net this time. Parker Kelly will retrieve on the far left wing, tied up with Brandon Saad. But Kelly's able to win that battle and play it down the ice. Into the Vegas zone, it'll go near the blue line. And in front of the Colorado bench, it ricochets around. Tays will find it and shoot it into Vegas ice, as now the Avs will complete a change. 14:20 to go in the second period. Vegas leading 2-1 over the Colorado Avalanche. Josh Manson now for the Avs. Had a goal in Game 7 versus Dallas last year. Played it up the far left wing. Here's Lehkonen in. A drop pass. Landeskog and a shutdown save made here by Carter Hart, as he was able to gobble that up straight away on top of the blue paint on his knees. And he gets a whistle with 14:06 to go in the second.
Good action. I
So
like
again,
I like how Vegas is playing very compact. This is a Colorado team that could almost that can kill teams strictly with their speed. Vegas doesn't look to be overwhelmed by the team's speed so far.
Face off to the right of Carter Hart. Eichel beats Landeskog on the draw as it's flipped out to center by the Golden Knights. Manson, though, with it for Colorado in front of the penalty boxes. Got it to Landeskog, who's now tied up with Eichel. Landeskog playing for Team Sweden in the Olympics. Eichel winning a gold medal with Team USA. John Tortorella, his head coach now, was his assistant coach, by the way, for Team USA in Milan. Noah Hannafin as well, a part of that Olympic gold medal team. As from the right point, a shot by Manson right on, a right shoulder saves made by Hart as the puck ricochets back out the center, and the Avs will recoil again with 13:30 remaining in the second period. Josh Manson between the circles in his own zone. Pass intended for Landeskog went off the tip of his blade. Ricocheted, though, to the far corner of the Vegas zone. Colton wanted to hunt it down, but ran into Hannafin and stumbled. Meanwhile, on the near wall, it's flipped out to center by the Vegas fourth line's Nick Dowd to the near corner. Down to our left, it'll be rug around by Kolazar for Dowd. Drop back to the far corner for Keegan Kolazar as he shields and slung it back between the trapezoid. Now in that trapezoid, it's going to be played by Dowd again. Passed it to himself on the near left wing. Tried to send it back down low, but nobody home there for the Golden Knights. So now Kiviranta tried to pull cue it ahead. It came to Tace, who also did the same out to center. And now Vegas will try and reset again. Dowd will flip one into the far corner as they get a new forward group on the ice with 12:38 to go in the second period. Puck in the Colorado zone to our left. Fresh on the ice is Dorofeyev, who has the Vegas go-ahead goal. Got it taken away, though, from Kiviranta and Malinsky, as Malinsky here will play it up ahead for Nick Waugh, the ex-Vegas Golden Knights centerman. Pivots on the far left wing. Left it for Natchez, who button hooks now in the slot. Colton, a one-timer, shut down with the left pad there by Hart in the butterfly position as it's sent back up the near board through center and into the Colorado zone. Kulak will grab it and reset behind his own net. From the trapezoid, put it up the far wall for Big Val Nichushkin. Scored through the legs last week in St. Louis. Makes a move here to the right wing circle in the Vegas zone with a snapshot that tried to go off the far post and in, but missed. Now back to the far point. It's played down low off the skate of Korzak, and Vegas will send it up ahead. Howden, a nice tip. Tried to play it himself. Got in past Burns to the backhand, and a save made. Blackwood rebound through the blue paint. Scooped up Nelson, as that was almost a great play by Brett Howden. That was going to be cashed in on, but just inches away and able to keep it out. We're the Avalanche. Back at the other end, they come. Behind the net's Nelson, setting up Blankenberg, a one-timer from the right circle, and that's shut down with the right pad by Hart. On the left wing side, it's thrown up by Hannafin. Past the penalty boxes is Hurdle. Trade spots with Sissons. Got a return pass with a shot that goes off the pad of Blackwood. Rebound around the goal, and it's going to get out to center as nobody's there to keep it in for Vegas. Sod will scoop back and now play it up ahead and keep possession. Got cut off over the Avalanche line, but it's poked right to Hurdle. He's in with the shot from the left wing circle. Now in front, it ricochets to the near side. It'll be kept in by McNabb for Stone. Stone to the far circle. Sod bunted it back to the point. Theodore straight away. Long wrister glove save made by Blackwood. And now there's going to be a little bit of a scrum with Hurdle and Drury. Hurdle wants a penalty. He's not going to get one. Oh, with 10:53 to go here in the second period, we'll get our first timeout of the middle frame. Vegas close to making it 3-1. Howden had his first try stopped by Blackwood and threw it back through the blue paint. And Nelson there to keep it out. And we will step aside as Vegas now leads it 2-1 over the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, I really like the pace of this game. It's a real fun pace. We know how good these two teams are, despite being separated in the standings by 25 points.
And Matt, since you were so generous to give me an extra 30 seconds, I'll give you an extra 53 seconds in this period. You could take over when we return so things aren't too complicated.
If you're scoring at home, we have I gifted Jaric 30, he's gifting me 50. Put that down on the scorecard.
It's like sending gifted subs on Twitch, you know?
Yeah, someone tried to explain that on Twitch, and I don't understand anything about Twitch.
Twitch, I think, has gotten worse over the years. I liked it better like 5-10 years ago. Now it's kind of too TikTok-y. Like, they try to make everything so you swipe, and I don't know. I don't like the layout of it anymore. Not really for me. But you mentioned the pace of this game, and yeah, Vegas is keeping with Colorado really nice so far in this game. I've really been impressed with the Golden Knights as they have not exactly let this get into a track meet either. You've mentioned how there's good pace to this game, but they are containing Colorado's speed. Colorado has not been able to get these controlled zone entries and generate these high quality chances that we're so used to seeing from them. And even on the power play, they were kept to the perimeter. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on here. And before we get back underway, I wanted to make mention because we've been talking about how this could be a potential first round series. Colorado's 2-8 in the Nathan MacKinnon era in series that go beyond 5 games. So if you could get these guys to 6 or 7 games, chances are you're going to beat them. And I could see this Vegas team potentially doing that if they match up.
We'll see if they do match up at any point in these playoffs. Play set to restart. Eichel on the draw with Drury. Now Eichel will be kicked out as we approach the midway point of regulation time. Marner, the longtime Maple Leaf, come in for the face-off, but it's won cleanly by Drury in the Colorado defensive zone. Puck looped on out to center. Vegas gets back on it, and Eichel jets right up the middle with a shot off the mask of the Colorado goaltender Blackwood. Puck up the near boards. Colorado scrambles it out. Rasmus Anderson from the far red line plugs it right back into the Colorado zone to our left. From the far corner, Sam Malinsky up the far wall. Colorado will bring it out. Far wing Logan O'Connor plays it along the dasher in deep out of the near corner. Drury overskated it. Vegas gets to the loose change. Jack Eichel backhands it through neutral ice. Stone gains the red line and floats it over the top of Blackwood. Behind the net, Josh Manson gets to it. Wedged it off the far glass and out to center. It pinballs around in front of the Colorado bench, now squirts back into the Vegas end. Eichel is on it one more time. Eichel a lead feed through center. Brought over the line by Dorofeyev, the goal scorer to make it 2-1 Vegas. Floats it in deep softly. Malinsky gets to it. He'll pop it out to center. Landeskog got tied up in neutral territory by Ivan Barbashev. Puck into the Vegas zone to our right in the Golden Knights' control. McNabb, far red line. Tried to backhand it in from the far red line. It took contact into the trapezoid. Manson gets back on it. Skates on his backhand and pop flies it diagonally through center. Trying to run it down to the right wing, Landeskog. He gets angled off in the near corner by Jeremy Lauzon. It comes out to the left circle. Shot taken through the blue paint and out. Comes towards the near wall. Manson activating. Plays it rink wide. Took a wild deflection out to center. Kulak rifles it right back in. And that puck crawls up the glass in the far corner out of play. And that'll lead us to a very quick next stoppage of play with just north of 9 minutes to go in period number 2.
So Matt is not 4-4 Blue Jackets Canadians. CBJ has now gotten that 5th goal. Charlie Coyle second of the game. So they've extended their lead back up to 3, and they're in the driver's seat here to get an important 2 points. They'll leapfrog Washington in the standings again and be just 2 points back of the Flyers, who now sit at 94 in the Metro. And we also mentioned earlier in the Western Conference that Minnesota lost to the Nashville Predators and Dallas won. That clinches home ice in the first round for the Dallas Stars over the Minnesota Wild. So we finally have our first set in stone series, not just the matchup, but who has home ice as well between Dallas and Minnesota.
Okay, I want to do something here at this break, and we might have to come back to this. It is very rare that the two of us are able to get together for streams like this for one reason or another. Either my schedule, your schedule, or we try to do a bunch of games and a good bulk of games through the regular season, and the best way to do that is to not be together. I want to dive deep. This has to be at the next intermission, surely. We'll talk some playoffs.
I'm game.
Yeah, we'll talk playoffs at the next intermission, but I also want to talk about our individual prep for these streams, because we each do it differently, but I really enjoy the fact that we could do it so differently and yet come away with the product that we do come away with. And I'm excited to get into that, because I fall in love with that kind of stuff. that kind of stuff is great.
That's why we do what we do. We're geeks for all this little stuff that nobody else can care about.
We really are.
And can you believe, too, we try to do all these games, but unless you did one, this is the first Vegas game on the channel this season.
Yeah, I think you're right. Play restarts with a
I
neutral
know I
zone
have not
face-off.
done one.
No, I haven't either. I haven't done hardly any hockey this year for many reasons. Colorado gets the puck into the Vegas zone as play restarts. In back of the goal, Wass swirled it around the far boards. Blankenberg with a shot off the post and then off of the goaltender, and in they score! My goodness! What a sequence for Colorado to tie it. Nick Blankenberg at the left point with a long wrister that went off of the post, then off of Hart's back and in. And we have seen some wild caroms tonight, and there is another. We're tied at 2.
What a wonky goal here, Matt. Blankenberg's shot beats Hart clean, blocker side off the post, and just goes right off that vertebrae on Carter Hart's back and ricochets in. And Blankenberg now up to 7 on the year, the trade deadline acquisition from Nashville. That's his first goal as a Colorado Avalanche. Might as well not be. It's a Nordique night, but it is his first goal here in Colorado.
Boy, Vegas gets it right out in front as play restarts, and Hertl was able to whisk a backhander wide. It comes back out to the left point. Noah Hannafin plugs it in high to low into the near corner. Twisting with it there is Colton Sissons. He gets shouldered into the boards but holds on to it. Brings it to the perimeter. Wheel around shot for the left point, missed wide, looking for a tip from Hertl, none available. Colorado with the puck, and Burns scraped it on out to center. Nate just fumbled it at the red line, picked on up by Hannafin once again. At his own blue line, he golfs it forward, takes a deflection in front of the penalty box doors this way. Board battle, and the puck squirts out to the middle of the ice, and it's picked up over the line. McKinnon on the right circle, a shot! And that was stabbed away by the glove of Hart, who could not stop play. Puck scrambled along towards the near boards. Malinsky comes in to rough up Brett Howden a bit. Now the puck is sent down the ice by Vegas, and it'll get down for icing with 8 minutes to go here in this second period. So Nick Blankenberg with a shot from the point. And as Jaric rightly said, it beats Hart clean, but goes off the left post, then off of Hart's back and in. And we're tied at 2. Face off to restart play, controlled by McKinnon. Onto the right point, it's Malinsky. Walks the line right to left, tried to flip a long wrister, blocked by Barbashev. Puck rebounded out to center from the far red line. Taves stashes it in deep behind the net. It's held there by Hart. And Vegas will get it out to center, but it's turned over to Taves. Right back over the line. Drifts out wide to his right. Had it poked away by the defensive stick of Hannafin. It came into the corner. Board battle to the left of Hart. It squirts out up the boards. McKinnon twisting and turning with it, and then had it stolen. Dorofeyev was able to place it forward. Barbashev on a return up the left wing side. Vegas over the line. And from the left circle, Howden tried to get free to put one on net. But we get a whistle, and a penalty is coming up here against Colorado.
Yeah, Landeskog's going to go here. As this all happens, this penalty only happens because Dorofeyev, I mentioned in the first period, he's been so good at his own blue line and neutral ice. He's just so subtle with the sticks, and he was able to force a turnover going the other way. And then when he got tied up in the slot, or I should say tried to feed Howden in the slot, Landeskog comes in with a hook and ties him up for the penalty. But Dorofeyev, he's got a goal tonight, and he's been so good at neutral ice, just been so effective for the Vegas Golden Knights in this game, and we'll see if they could get their lead back here on the power play.
Back and forth we've gone. It was 1-0 Colorado, then suddenly 2-1 Vegas. Now, as you see, 2-2. Hertl on the face-off, along with Nelson to the right of Blackwood in the Colorado zone. Colorado, the 8th best face-off team in the league. Vegas right behind them at 10th. Hertl cleanly was able to win the draw, wrapped back to the left point where Eichel helped it from Marner. Hertl a touch feed into the slot, from the slot to Dorofeyev, and his shot shut down and held for a whistle quickly by Blackwood.
Good quick puck movement off the rip on this power play for Vegas. Remember, it just took 15 seconds to get that power play goal from Mark Stone earlier in this game. And again, right off a face-off when it's bunted to the bumper position where Hertl then played it to Dorofeyev, right wing side, and just couldn't beat Blackwood's glove.
Snapped away by the glove of Blackwood. Now Colorado wins a defensive zone draw. The grizzled veteran Brent Burns whacks it around the near wall. Couldn't get it out, but Val Nichushkin did. Now shorthanded the other way. Nelson cuts into the slot with a shot, and he just missed as Nelson shorthanded.
Just missed indeed.
Wow, that was fine margins as he just missed the corner. Marner picks up the loose change, and here comes Vegas a quarter of the way through the penalty time. A drop off at the red line. Eichel brings it over the blue, feeds it left at the point. Tomas Hertl wraps it back for Marner, then down the near wall. Eichel in the corner gets taken care of by Manson. Hertl continues to keep the puck into the slot. Marner touch feed. Eichel left circle, a shot, and that missed the net high. Caught the glass in behind Blackwood, and it ricocheted all the way down from our left to our right into the Vegas zone. Kept in the
I don't know if
trapezoid by
Eichel
Hart.
didn't have that in his wheelhouse or if he just shanked that. He didn't get that one-timer off, but he just held on to it for not even a half second, just like 0.2 of a second too long. He could have had an open net on the left wing side.
Eichel feeds Anderson over the line up the middle, then he loses it, and it could be a shorthanded breakaway chance. Logan O'Connor's in with a shot shut down, and the rebound for Hart fishing for it, and he finds it on the left side of his crease to get a whistle.
Wow. Wow. Carter Hart in this game now, he's starting to lose his rebound control quite a bit. It hasn't been great to begin with, but now we've seen a lot of these pucks just kick right off of him. And he comes up with a big breakaway stop here on O'Connor from the red line in. But there wasn't really much of a move to be made by O'Connor. He just shot it right at him. But Hart here, if I'm the Avalanche, I'm crashing bodies at the net and trying to clean up that loose change because Carter Hart's not absorbing these shots he's facing right now.
Kelly and Howden on the draw. Vegas able to control in their defensive zone. Shea Theodore behind the net will bring it out through center. Feeds it right. Anderson from the red line forks it in. Out of the near corner. Howden racing to it. Couldn't keep it away from Taves. And it's flipped up and out of the zone. Half a minute to go on the Vegas penalty time, and Colton Sissons from behind his own net will leave it there for Shea Theodore. Theodore will skate forward, feed it blue to blue. Barbashev over the line, squeeze down the wall past Taves. Taves couldn't spin it out. Behind the net, Anderson feeds it up the far wall, couldn't get it to the point, and it's all the way down to Hart again. He'll leave it in the trapezoid with 6 seconds and 5 left on the penalty time. Theodore up ice, will be back at 5 aside. Theodore scrapes it forward where it could be twisted in by Smith. Cole Smith going after it. Behind the net in the trapezoid, taken out of the near corner by Keegan Colasar. A power move to the front of the net. A stuff in wouldn't go. The rebound wouldn't go either. And hugging that near post and keeping everything out is Blackwood. And then after the whistle, it all breaks out.
And I'm not sure why the whistle went there, Matt. Now it looks like we're getting a penalty. It looks like the referee, Francis Sharon, just pointed either at McNabb or Colasar, and we'll see if they send anyone to the box, but I'm not sure why that whistle went. That puck was loose the entire time. With 5:12 to go, it does get blown dead, and we'll take that last time out here on the ice, but getting physical here now in Denver.
It was Dowd and Malinsky that started it. Then Landeskog came in to take Dowd. Couple of Stanley Cup winners there. Wow.
So we'll see if any penalties get issued out. Check the old handy dandy NHL app here during the commercial break, and does not look like anything's going to happen, so we'll be all good.
Can just kind of feel it all building up here. I know the folks.
And this third period coming up here is going to be a bumpy ride to the finish if we're tied throughout this entire thing, because like I said, Colorado, they don't want to go quietly into these playoffs. They're trying to keep themselves on the right track. They've not been great here at Ball Arena either since the Olympic break. They're 4-6-1 in this building since they've come back from Milan, so it's definitely still season. Don't want to have any blips in their game. I mean, they just gave up 8 goals to the Vancouver Canucks last week, for crying out loud, so can't get caught lacking this time of year.
Well, I know the folks at Disney probably looking forward to this game being on a Saturday night in primetime on ABC. They would have liked for maybe a little bit more importance on the game. I mean, again, not much riding on it for Colorado, but still getting a dramatic game here through, can't do math, 35 minutes just about. We're tied at 2. Math, never my strong.
It's good, though, to have these Western Conference games in prime time on national TV as well. It's good to showcase different parts of the league. And, I mean, this Colorado team so just skilled front to back. I mean, perfect opportunity here with a triple header to not go with the East Coast in prime time. So I'm a fan of doing something
Oh, yeah.
different here. I believe this is the first Western Conference prime time game in this TV deal for ABC.
Oh, it has to be, surely.
I can't think of a different one
No,
that's
I
not
can't
been
either.
playoffs.
Neutral zone face-off here to restart play. McKinnon on the draw with Brett Howden. Puck is dropped, and it looked like Howden had it, but instead, controlled by Colorado, Taves at his own blue line was able to scrape it forward. Played in deep by Lehkonen. Hart moved it around the near boards. Malinsky at the line held it in, but then bumped out by Barbashev. Back to Malinsky, who approaches the line of the near right wing. Sent it around the dasher to the far corner. Landeskog got tied up there by Rasmus Anderson. Reversed it in deep. In back of the goal, Arturi Lehkonen, a centering feed, got blocked. He follows it to the right corner, now in back of the goal. McKinnon, a button hook on Anderson sharply. In the trapezoid, turns from backhand to forehand. Still it's McKinnon, centering feed out in front, never made it to his target. Lehkonen coming down with a dribble on it. Howden up the near wall, got it past Taves at the line. Did Malinsky hold it in? He did not.
I thought he did.
I thought he did
the
with the
linesman got a
naked
bit
eye.
confused than me.
Yeah, I thought looking at it he did, but apparently not. It'll come out to center.
So
Neutral zone.
1 week from today, Matt, it all
Yeah.
starts here on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube channel. The Stanley Cup playoffs right here on the networks of USM, and it'll get underway at 2 Eastern on Saturday, 1 Eastern on Sunday. I'll get the day started with you all. Matt, he'll be with you at least Saturday night, and we'll see what Sunday brings in store for us.
Vegas controls the face-off to restart play, but Brent Burns comes up with it. He will drift back into the Colorado zone to our left. Burns sends it out to center, flagged down by Nelson, who got ridden off the puck, and it squirts free to the stick of Stone. Vegas captain up the middle, drifts out wide to his right, over the line, hands it off. At the right point, Theodore cuts left, feeds it D to D this way. McNabb steps into a shot off a stick. Karams along to the far wall, where Natchez tries to get rid of it for Colorado. Had his stick lifted momentarily, but finally Natchez is able to gain control of it and get it out. His pass forward was hit by Burns, who found the puck and backhanded it in deep. Under 4 to go in the second period. Shots on goal are 24-17. Colorado, where it counts, as you see, it's dead even at 2. Through center, Braden McNabb jackknifes it in. To the left of Mackenzie Blackwood, in back of the goal, Manson bats it up this way, pinching in to keep the puck in. Jeremy Lauzon for Vegas. Feeds the left circle. Colton Sissons low to high to the left point. Long shot taken by Lauzon, hit off the inboard, and reaching back well over his right shoulder to get it is Blackwood and shut it down with the puck at the side of the goal with about 3 minutes to go. President's Trophy clinched by the Avalanche, and as Jarrett told you earlier, Dallas and Minnesota locked into the 2 and 3 spots in the Central. So the Central is all wrapped up as far as the automatic playoff berths are concerned. Hurdle wins the face-off in the Colorado zone. Back up high, and a long one-timer by Lauzon. Didn't make it to the net. Puck in back of the goal. Tomas Hurdle gets to it. Tried to turn to his forehand outside the dot of the left circle. Nick Waugh, the former Golden Knight, made that difficult for him, and the puck comes to the stick of Colorado's Nick Blankenberg. Goal scorer earlier, diagonal through center. Waugh over the line of the left wing. On the circle, he takes a shot, and he shoots a headhunter high. Comes off the back glass and ricochets out to center. Manson backpedals back into the Colorado zone. Zings it forward off a stick. Karams into the Vegas end. Hart leaves it behind the net. And Vegas will start up ice one more time. At his own blue line, it's played forward. Off a stick, though, it's taken back by Colorado on this Nordique night in Denver. Lehkonen got toppled over at the red line as he forced it in. Landeskog goes after it. Puck comes on net. Poked away by the stick of Hart, comes to the left point. Taves, a swing and a miss on it, but was able to at least filter it to the far half wall. Landeskog towards McKinnon. He got beaten off the puck. Hanifin from behind the net comes up with it. He tries to steer his way around Lehkonen and does, and forced it forward. And here comes Vegas out to center. Dowd left wing over red over blue. Dowd on his off wing gets angled off into the boards while falling down, doing so defensively. Malinsky got the puck away. Into the far corner, Taves searching for it. And it's Malinsky away with it once again from Lakeville, Minnesota. He'll accelerate out to center, gains the red line, and one-hands it in along the boards to the far side. And we get a whistle to stop play with a $1:47 left in this period.
Lakeville, Minnesota, home of Dallas Star goaltender Jake Ottinger as well. Potential second round matchup between those two could be looming. As you mentioned, Sam Malinsky, and this is all happening for him without Cale Makar. He's been out for over a week now, getting hurt in that 9-2 win against the Flames. But Malinsky on this top pair with Taves has been playing tremendous. I've gotten the pleasure to call now 3 Avalanche games, and he looks like he belongs. And on the year as well, he's got 38 points, so he's approaching 40 as the guy who's just now finding his spot as a regular here on the Avs roster.
Vegas wins the draw on neutral ice to restart play, but the puck gets swirled back into the Vegas zone. Colorado controls. Parker Kelly wide of the dot of the right circle. Back to the right point. Burns a shot. Forced away by Hart. Mark Stone on the rebound. Quickly fastballs it out to center. Up the left wing. Eichel takes it over the line. He's bothered defensively by Brent Burns. Burns was able to shovel it into the far corner. Vegas on the forecheck, nearly forced to take away. They have. From the dot of the right circle, Marner whipped it back towards the point. It comes into the slot. Could not be handled cleanly at first by Dorofeya, but now he picks it up. Goes out wide on the right. Hands it off for Eichel. Into the slot. Marner didn't get good wood on a one-timer. It went through the blue paint and out into the near corner to the right of Mackenzie Blackwood. Vegas holds the puck in the zone. Dorofeyev up top. Drifting out to his right, Rasmus Anderson ladles it high to low. Less than a minute to go in the period, as you see. Low to high, Hannafin up top. His long wrister hit a body out in front, maybe looking for a tip. Dorofeyev out of the far corner, holds the zone for Vegas. At the line, walks into the slot. Tries a shot that ended up getting absorbed by his teammate Barbashev, who drifts out to his left at the point. Sent it below the goal line, intercepted by Jack Drury, and Drury does a good job at popping the puck up into the air and flipping it out of the zone. All the way down to Hart, no icing as play carries on in the final 20 seconds now of this second period. Rasmus Anderson behind the net, behind Hart. He'll be forced out by an anxious Brock Nelson. Up the far wall, Hannafin skipped it towards Barbashev, who couldn't gain clean entry. Colorado the other way, McKinnon ripping it up the right wing, and from the circle takes a shot forced away by Hart. 2 seconds and 1 left in the period. Puck out to center, and that brings an end to the second period here. 2-2 after 2 in Denver between the Golden Knights and the Avalanche. And we've got a fun third period coming up, it would seem.
We do indeed, and this time 2 even strength goals in this second period, 1 for each team, have us where we're at 2-2 after 2. It was Pavel Dorofeyev setting a career-high 36 goals on the year from Barbashev and Korzak. That gave Vegas a 2-1 lead, and then Nick Blankenberg from the ex-Golden Knight Nick Waugh, able to get his first goal as a member of the Avalanche. It's his 7th of the season, and this game's all even at 2 after 2. When tied through 2 periods this year, the Avalanche 7-4-4. The Vegas Golden Knights 8-4-4, so around the same records for each of these two teams in this situation. Shots on goal 26-17. Colorado through 40 minutes. Hits are 8-7 to Vegas, though it feels like it should be more than that. Colorado outblocking Vegas as well, 11-8. Those are your numbers through 2 periods. You won't have to hear a lot of numbers during this intermission. You're going to hear a lot about papers and pens instead.
That's exactly right. Before we get to that, congratulations to the Denver Pioneers winning their 11th national championship in college hockey, 3rd in the last 5 seasons. The Pioneers stiff-arming the Wisconsin Badgers away in the national championship game, Frozen 4 in Las Vegas this year, and it's Denver winning another national championship. And big congratulations to David Carl's club, who once again scores a national title and brings it to Denver. And, of course, many, as you would imagine, famous Denver Pioneers in the National Hockey League over the years. That's a program that produced the likes of Kevin Dineen, who played, of course, many years, Philadelphia, Carolina, Columbus.
Hey, won a couple of cups here in Chicago for the Blackhawks, part of Coach Q's staff.
Yeah, a lot of Denver Pioneers in the National Hockey League
and
over the years. Peter
Matt, I wanted to touch real quick on that Pioneers team, not to cut you off, but their goaltender has been awesome. Johnny Hicks, that kid in the semifinal faced over 50 shots on net, was an absolute brick wall. And in this game, they get outshot double. Shots were, I believe, 32-15 in favor of Wisconsin over Denver. And they're able to get that win 2-1 with just 15 shots on net. So Hicks, what an absolute stud in the blue paint for the Pioneers these last 2 games.
Some active players in the league from Denver include Paul Stastny, Tyler Bozak, Jason Zucker, Scott Mayfield, Bo Bennett, Will Butcher, Danton Heinen, all from the Denver Pioneers. Should we commit to the Frozen Four next year? Should we make that a goal to bring you the
Would be
Frozen
kind
Four?
of fun.
Yeah, it'd be right on the backs of the
Would be
Final
fun.
Four. Yeah.
I believe Zeev Boom was on that Pioneer team as well as part of the Vancouver Canucks now, as he was one of the more recent draft picks to come out of that school. So part of that Quinn Hughes trade earlier this season. And I'd honestly be down to try some of the, not only that, but the World Juniors as well. I was going to mention. I don't know what the rules are for that, but I think it would be fun to give it a go. The Olympics were actually good for like Latvia and like Slovakia, like some of those countries didn't bother me so much. So I feel like if I could familiarize myself enough with these kids, the World Juniors and college hockey could be fun. I've told you I wanted to mess around with AHL for the heck of it, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. But I mean, why not challenge ourselves a little more, you know?
Yeah, let's do it. Also, let me give you an update. Oh, wow. That's perfect timing. It has just finished in Bristol. The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race has been won by Connor Zilic. So Zilic coming down from the Cup Series to run in the Grand National Series. That's been a talking point this week. Zilic getting the win over Kyle Larson. So Zilic, after winning, good Lord, 10 races in that series last year, now a Cup Series regular, he wins the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race tonight in Bristol. Just flipped
Do we
it over
have
there.
3 races next week?
What do
Or is
we
it just
have
the
next week?
2? Because it's Talladega, right? Or no, it looks,
No,
yeah. Oh, Kansas is
Kansas.
the Busch race, it looks like, huh?
Yeah, I do love people that still call it the Busch Series.
Dude,
I
it's
truly do.
how I grew up with it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
never gonna
know.
call it anything different.
I know. See now it has an identity crisis. Is it Busch? Is it Nationwide? Is it Xfinity? Is it O'Reilly? Just call it the Grand National Series. It was the Busch Grand National Series
Okay.
for all those years. Just call it
So
Kansas.
so we're only
next
having
week.
one race at Talladega, it looks like, or are they gonna have multiple races there? I'm looking at the upcoming
Talladega.
schedule and
Talladega in 2 weeks will have Cup and Grand National. Yes.
okay, that's awesome. I always watch Talladega. That's
Yes.
definitely one of the ones I tune into. Chaos, always.
Always. So okay, here's what we were. Well, at least I was very excited to talk about this.
Oh no, this is gonna be good. I got my camera ready and everything.
So,
We might get a
okay.
whole rundown.
Here we go. Camera's now on. Let me flip the screens in the back so I'm not having to look.
Oh, that's right. We might have. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. We got the commercial tab up.
Yeah, very good. Okay, cameras are on. Okay, here we go. So I'll start with mine. Legal paper is very important to me, and I don't mean legal paper by you know, you're getting served. I mean the legal size paper. So that's what I use, legal paper for these boards. So here we go. These are the boards that I use, that I create to get the game. And here's my Vegas Golden Knights board. You can follow me on TikTok, and you saw it earlier tonight. I am new to the TikTok, but I have put it on. So yeah, there's my boards for Vegas. It's a very long piece of paper, a lot of information that I fold up the bottom here to make it easier to handle. That's my Vegas board. Here's my Colorado board in the Nordique colors. So yeah, Jaric, you mentioned this earlier. We've got the Nordique, powder sky blue, white numbers, the maroon trim. Let's see, what do I have here? I have some notes here, like when scoring first, what their record is. I'm trying to get it right on the camera. Record when they score first, record when they lead after 2 periods trail, team leader in goals, team leader in points, power play goals, all of that. I mean, look at the size right here. It's a very small font size. Sometimes I wonder if I'm an owl, but as we talked about before we went on the air, I actually have very bad eyesight indeed. That's why I have these glasses on. The trick, of course, is...
You and me both.
The trick, of course, and I'm sure Jerick will back me up on this, the trick for all of this is to try to get all of this in your head and memorize it so you never have to look down on it. And how many times do you never have to look down on it? 0 times! You always have to look down on this thing. So that's
and the best part about hockey too is yeah, this is a lot of work, but I mean, if you just get 10 to 20% of it in through a hockey broadcast with the pace that this game's played at, you've done your job.
So this is mine, and I am a person that prefers the boards to be in numerical order. Now, Jaric will show you he doesn't have his in numerical. I couldn't do it. I could not do this the way Jaric does it. But I have mine in numerical order, not based on lines, and I just have the full roster. And again, football, basketball, baseball, you have all the time in the world to look down and, who's 22? Oh, yes, that's Cole Smith. Not in this sport. Not in this sport.
Nope. You get
Okay.
about a split second to look down, and if you look down for that split second, someone's getting crushed at the blue line, somebody's scoring a goal, like, penalties taken.
Yes. So mine is on legal paper in numerical order with colors everywhere, color-coded notes. Now, what about you, Jericho? Do you want to share the state secrets or?
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Well, I'm going to mute my mic while I take my camera off the monitor real quick, just so I don't drop anything, but give me like 2 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, again, state secret kind of stuff here that we're giving up, obviously.
All right. Let's see, where are we at here? All right, so here are my line combinations. Hopefully this isn't like backwards. Is it going to be backwards? It is going to be backwards.
Is it good? No, it's good.
Is it good?
It is.
Okay, it looks backwards on my screen. I'm reading it backwards, but these are my line combinations, and I do them based on how the teams actually align in the game. So I have the top line, second line, third line, fourth line, defense pairings, and then in front of me here, I'm trying my best to give us the best footage possible. I got the NHL, like these are all the official game notes. So they're all public for anybody to look at and use if you please. But I print them out, the game packets, every game I do. So this is like the main page. This here is the Colorado notes packet. Has a ton of information in there. I go through and highlight anything I might want to touch on. And I only highlight specific parts because otherwise it's a word salad I'm looking at and I'll have just get lost in the sauce there and have no idea what I'm reading. Same thing for Vegas. Do the same exact thing with this packet like I did the Colorado one. Up here on this monitor, say hello to my ring light, nice and bright. We got the career stats versus versus the opponent. This is really bad. I'm trying to angle this the best I can. We got career stats versus Vegas and Colorado. The head-to-head stats from the meetings so far this year. And then the head-to-head goalie stats. I was expecting Wedgwood, so he's still up there at the moment, but the head-to-head player versus goalie stats. And above me, we got the ad reads here. This is our USM upcoming schedule. Here's all the power play numbers, and then the players' numbers on the power play. Keep that all above me so I could just glance up real quick. Also has the period numbers in terms of goals scored and against. And right next to that, we got the numbers here that tell me the records in their last 5, their last 10, when scoring first, when giving up the first goal, when leading, when trailing, when tied through the first, second, the third, their OT record, and then overall team stats. And it goes in numerical order from the top point getter all the way to who has the least amount of points. And I kind of just highlight the centerman and their face-off percentage, and then the defenseman's time on ice and hits and blocks. And then here's just other little nuggets. NHL media page gives me a little preview here as to what we can look for in the game. Players' last 5 stats, and then the last 10 between each other. So that is how I do things. And then as well, I got my little soundboard here that I use my mic for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little look around my room here as to how these broadcasts commence on the Ultimate Sports Media page. Hope you guys find it very fascinating. I'm looking down at the stream now for the first time, and you're right, it does look normal, so it's not complete disaster here. I'm looking at a mirror image on my screen. I'm like, I can't read any of this.
So, basically what we've just done here is give people a lot of information that they did not care about. But we cared about it, and that's all that matters. But yes.
But if you think about it, people could be tuned to this that are interested in what we're doing too, because it's a very niche subject. So who knows? Maybe we just help somebody out who has no idea how to get their foot in the door and get started with this.
Yeah.
So,
and if you are one of
those
people that you don't know how to get involved in this and how to get started and how to get your feet wet, believe me, it's a very difficult industry to get into. I think everybody that tries to get into it understands
believe me
that it
too.
is.
I've been trying, man.
So keep going, and then also contact me. Contact Jarek. Well, if
I
you're
would
if you're
not be here right now. I don't even know if I would have thought to do these games from home if Matt never reached out to me. And it's been 5 years now, and I've only gotten better year after year. And there's people that look at me and they're like, "Why are you doing this for no money? Like, what are you
yeah,
doing? You're streaming to 5, 10 people." I'm
right,
like, dude, like you got to get the repetitions in. If you don't get the reps in, you are going to lose your skill. And when you actually get a job you're looking for, you are going to be really bad. So it's awesome to just stay sharp on your skills, and why it's not bad to call games at the highest level, even though you're doing it from home. Like I'm calling NHL hockey. It's so fast. It's so frantic. Like
right.
I think
See,
it's perfect.
that's something. Obviously, you've heard the exact same things. Are you doing this for money? Are you? No, sure, sure ain't. um, and yeah, we've gone through times where we had no idea how many people were listening to us. We got an email on the old platform, which we won't talk about because I don't want to name the old platform out, just in case. But on the old platform, we would get an email, or I would get an email after every um, stream telling you how many people listened, and that number could be arbitrary. Sometimes it would tell you like 1,000 people, but really on your screen it was only showing up as 2 people. So I was like, what? What's
Yeah,
really going
you're right
on
about
here?
that.
But so and yeah, there's obviously these streams on YouTube that are watched by some that are watched by more, others not so much, and but that doesn't matter, does it? I mean, really, at the end of the day, we're not doing this to be seen by 30,000 people and all of that. We're just doing it to your point to get the reps in because what I can tell you is calling hockey off of a television monitor, which is the way we do all of our sports, obviously football, basketball, hockey, racing, all of them. Calling hockey off a television monitor is the hardest to try to do. You like it is just the most difficult sport to do
You only
in
get one
general.
frame.
Yeah, in general, it's really the hardest sport to call, I think. And then added on doing it on a television monitor is also very difficult. And what we're basically doing here, that when people have asked me about this and why are you doing this and all that, here's what I said. I said this is like if you're into video games, particularly into sports video games, which I never really have been big in it. Um, I was when I was younger.
I
Then
can
I,
relate to this.
I
So
was
let's see where you're going.
I was younger when I was into it. Then I got phased out of it, and then as I got older, I kind of got back into it. Now I dabble in it very little. But when you start a video game, I've always considered it to be smart to start on the hardest level you can possibly start on, and that way when you play on that level, you can turn it down if you choose to, and then it all of a sudden seems very easy. That's what we're doing here, right, Jarek? We're doing this on the
100%.
hardest level we possibly could. So one day, if some miracle happens that one day we're in an actual ring doing these games,
Right?
it'll seem easier than what we have been doing.
100%. And those Olympic games, Matt, I don't think you got the could to do any of them, but
No,
dude, the pace of play was so fast in them. I was like, wow, I was taken back for a second. I was like, okay, we got to really kick it into high gear here and make sure we're on our game because this sport, man, when the playoffs are going to get here, the game's only going to get so much faster within the next week. You could be watching this game now, and then the one you watch 7 days from now is going to seem like it's played in 2 times speed. It's going to be a big jump in play here when the playoffs begin, and I can't wait. Best time of year. Hope you guys all tune into the broadcast Matthew and I provide you guys because we work hard. Excuse me. Like we said, we don't plan on doing this for 30. It would be nice to do it for 30,000 people and start getting attention, but I feel like if that happens, we're either going to get hired or shut down. Who knows what happens, but
yeah,
like
right.
it's just all about the repetition, and it's just about sharpening our skills, and then we could post it elsewhere and keep it for our own resumes. There's so many things that this could be used for, and honestly, money's the least of my worries right now because if I got to go to the NHL, I would work for free.
Yeah, And then we say all of that, and if we were to get to the point where this channel gets monetized, and you want to, send us your money, I mean, feel free.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's crazy that we've been doing this for 5 years.
I
Good
look back.
God.
I still have some of the clips on my phone from that first year doing this, and holy smokes, do I sound really rough compared to how I sound now.
First games that I did was the Carolina Washington playoff series in 2019. I
Yup,
mean,
what a
good
series.
God, what a way to I mean, literally, the first game I did was late in that regular season, a game in where St. Louis was at Carolina when those two had created these, unbelievable turnarounds second half of the season.
Yeah.
That was the first game I ever did, and then the second one was game 3 of that series because I didn't step in for some reason for game 3, which is incredible. But anyway, that's enough of our life
That
stories
was
and
perfect. The
preparation.
first two games might have discouraged you because they went down
Yeah,
0-2 in the series.
yeah, they did. They would have swept the series had I started. Game
Yeah,
1.
right? Exactly.
Ready for the third period to get started here in Denver. And Colorado controls as we get the money frame underway. Puck bounces into the Vegas end. Jack Eichel is there to backhand it around the boards. Turned over, and Lehkonen got it into the front. Landeskog, a shot right on. Kicked out with a purpose by the right pad of Carter Hart. Vegas tries to scramble it away, but it's held in by the Avalanche. But McKinnon fumbles it out of the near corner. Landeskog gets to it far corner to the left of Hart. Back for McKinnon below the goal line. Try to pass up high. That was knocked away by the Vegas defense, and Mark Stone gets it out. McKinnon gallops to it, red line, far side over the blue, feeds it into the middle, and it was knocked away by a Vegas stick. Lehkonen gets to a wobbling puck on the far half wall, cycles it back around this way. Landeskog dueling away with Marner, comes free in the pie slice to the right of Hart, and it's taken by Vegas's Rasmus Anderson. Around the near boards, Marner pop flies it to the line and gets it out. Devon Taves fair catches at the red line, hands it off on a quick change for Nelson over the line, slices through to the right circle, a shot on the short side. Does not get through. Hart comes back to the left point. High to low by Brett Kulak. Back to the far wall and a shot up high off of Hart. Comes to the near corner. Marty Necas spins, wriggles away, plays it to the left point. Kulak, touch pass by Necas into the slot. Could not be cleanly collected by Nichushkin, and it's out to center. Marty Necas from dead center forwards it for Brent Burns, who goes down through contact from Dorofeyev, and no penalty upcoming here to the shock of the Colorado fans. Ivan Barbashev digs it out from below the goal line and gets it out to center, and here comes Vegas. Cannot gain clean entry over the line with Howden. Colorado the other way. Near left wing over the line, Necas hits the brakes to turn onto his forehand. Has it off the skate of a Vegas defender. It comes to Malinsky. D to the right point. Long wrister. Never made it to the net, and it comes back out to center in Colorado. We'll reset again. Malinsky from the near red line angles it up to Waugh on the left wing. Waugh gets it out of the near corner, taken away by Korzak. Waugh once again shovels it into the right corner, gets it back on a return from Kiviranta, wedges up the far wall. D for a drive. Malinsky from the left point missed wide off the end wall. Waugh gets to it. He's turned back by Hurdle as it comes back to the right point. Long wrister through traffic, and it landed in the near circle. A lot of players didn't know where it was. Waugh from the top of the left circle. Feeds it to the right circle. Shot by Blankenberg. Missed the net high. From the bottom of the left circle. Shoveled back to the point. Malinsky. D. Once again, Blankenberg. High to low up the far side, and finally Vegas is able to clear. Puck high into the
Carter
air.
Hart's looked kind of shaky in goal here again in this third period. The rebound control's not great, and he just doesn't seem very confident in his movement in the blue paint. He's been kind of wobbly.
Avalanche get
This
it
Colorado
in.
team might be a little too quick for him compared to what he's seen since coming back from injury.
They get it into the Vegas end. Kelly out of the far corner around the Asher to the right point. Burns rips a wrister. Missed wide to the left of Hart. Colasar helps it out to center. Quick re-entry for Colorado again. Up the far boards and getting smushed into the corner boards was Logan O'Connor by Jeremy Lauzon, the longtime Boston Bruin. Colorado holds the zone still, though. Once again, Lauzon runs into O'Connor in the corner to the left of Hart. Puck squirts up the boards. Colasar is there to pick it up. He's outmanned 1-on-3. Tried to flush it into the Colorado zone, but it hit a stick and goes out of play with just over 16 and a half to go in regulation time.
I'll get a coach here on the Colorado bench. Looks like somebody got hit right in the noggin here as they're tending to somebody on the bench. And is it Jared Bednar?
Oh gosh, is it?
I don't see Bednar standing. It looks like it might be him who got hit
Oh
right in the
wow.
right ear. They got a towel. Now the Colorado head coach is going to head down the tunnel and get some repairs. That's not something you see every day.
Let's see if we can get a good look here on the replay on our monitor who this got.
It is Bednar right in the right ear.
Wow.
Ow.
Wow. Well, the things you'll
Well,
see.
that'll be a moment where, assuming he'll be okay, as you know, it's hockey after all, coach or not. I'm sure the players will probably give him some grief for that, but hopefully he's all good first before the Avs decide they want to start joking with him.
Things you'll see in this game. Eichel wins a face-off at dead center, back into the Vegas end. Braden McNabb nearly turned it over and did in the Colorado zone. Landeskog toiling away in the near corner with traffic all around him. McNabb took it away, backhanded up the near wall, not out. Held in by McKinnon, wide of the dot on the left circle. Brings it back to the perimeter, nearly fumbled the puck and just had to knife it in deep on his backhand of the corner where it was reversed up the boards and out by Shea Theodore. Eichel over the line, drifts wide to his left, one hands it in deep. McKinnon jabs it back into the trapezoid. It was knocked down by Eichel, who keeps it. Taves forces it away from him. Landeskog lifts it to the line, not out. Held in by Theodore, whose long wrister was seen the whole way and gloved down and held by Mackenzie Blackwood.
So Vegas finally starting to get some zone time here at the other end of the ice. 4 minutes into this third period. We'll see how Colorado's going to adjust here. As Nolan Pratt, the assistant coach here, is going to take over top duties on the bench. Surprised it's not going to be Dave Hackstall, who has prior head coaching experience in the NHL, who's also on the bench, was head coach with Philadelphia and Seattle most recently.
I was thinking it may have been him that got hit at first, but I did see him over there. Face off to the left of Blackwood. Marner was able to win the draw. It pinballed into the corner. Colorado trying to clear. Val Nichushkin will, and he guided it forward perfectly to Nelson, who's over the line. Comes to the left side, hands it off on the circle for Natchez, but that was taken away, and Dorofeyev motors back the other direction. Into the Colorado zone to our right. He feathers it in deep. Malinsky reverses it up the near wall. Anderson holds onto it and shoots from just inside the right point, missed wide. Nelson off the far barrier, picks it up and skitters it out to center. Marty Natchez with all that speed gets to it, stops on the half wall, tried to pin it back to the point. That was knocked away by a Vegas stick. It's out of the zone. Brent Burns on it once again at age 40, trying to win him a Stanley Cup. Played into the Vegas end. Anderson spins it out. Burns right back on it again. Played it back towards nobody, and Burns is going to have to try to chase this down in the Colorado zone. It was Sissons who was pressuring him. Puck around the far boards, bounces around in the corner. Now Blankenberg gets tied up by Sissons. It's loose. It's turned over at the goal line from behind the net. Hurdle turns to the right circle, gets it back for a one-timer, and he blasted high, maybe just off the shoulder of Blackwood, and it's out of play.
Yeah, and interesting. I don't know if that was even a decision by Burns or if he just was unaware he didn't have his partner on the left side with him in Blankenberg, but he just threw that right back into his own defensive zone, and then Hurdle with a couple of chances, one missing the net and one getting punched away. Here now has an ozone draw coming up for the Golden Knights to the left of Blackwood.
2-2 as we play early third period. President Trophy winner Colorado. Vegas looking to seal a spot up in the playoffs with a win tonight. Face off to Blackwood's left. Out of the near circle, Dowd on the draw, wins it for Vegas. It comes back to the right point. Caden Korzak guides it to the left point. High to low, it's off the end wall and back of the goal. Nick Dowd from the near corner, low to high for Korzak. Back down the near wall. Into the corner boards once again where Cole Smith, twisting and turning with it, comes out in front from a sharp angle, put it off the side of the net. Rebound loose on the far wall and whacked out by the Colorado defense. Caden Korzak backpedals to get to it for Vegas. Sliced it through center off a stick. It gets steered in. Blackwood waiting for it in back of the goal. Lifts it up around the glass on the near wall and gets it out. Parker Kelly for Colorado. Left wing over red. Scoops it in into the Vegas zone, and quickly the Golden Knights splinter it right back out. Devon Taves picks it up at dead center. Filters it in. Braden McNabb waiting for it in the trapezoid. Got tied up by McKinnon. McNabb goes down. McKinnon in the trapezoid. A centering feed out in front. Landeskog tried to direct it goalward. It's loose in the blue paint. Kept out by Hart and finally cleared by Vegas. This puck all the way down from our left to our right. And icing has to be waved off as it's played off the end wall by Blackwood, who then has to cover up with Barbashev breathing down his neck.
I think that block in front was off of the blade of Braden McNabb, as it looked like either Landeskog or Lehkonen, they were both there, had an opportunity to backhand that puck through, but unable to get it past, I believe it was the stick of McNabb. Of course, we're not going to get a replay of a good scoring chance, but good opportunity there for Colorado.
Face off to Blackwood's left will be taken by Eichel and Landeskog. And this out of the near circle, controlled by Vegas, brushed back to the right point. Anderson with a pocket pass across, and Taves got his stick in the passing lane, and Colorado's out to center. McKinnon feeds Landeskog up the middle, hands it off. Lehkonen for the left circle, a shot. Didn't make it through the traffic, blocked off the end wall, and Eichel picked it up there. Tried to lift it up the far wall and out, but Colorado holds it in. From the far corner, Hannafin whips a backhander along the boards, and Mark Stone butter knifes it out to center. Off the stick of Eichel up into the air. He and Lehkonen joust away for the puck, and it comes into the Avalanche zone to our right, and Colorado is on it with Brett Kulak in back of the goal. Sent it to his right. Burns another misplay. McKinnon below the goal line has to carefully play it away from Dorofeyev. He does up the wall, not out. Shot in from the left point by Lauzon, forced away by Blackwood, and Burns gets to the loose change. Brent Burns will 9-iron it out to center with a backhand that nearly hit the rafters up top here at Ball Arena. Into the Vegas zone. It's picked up on the far half wall. Nishushkin was trying to turn away from a VGK defender, but it's taken instead by Marner, whose outlet hit a stick and went out of play into the Vegas bench with 12 and a half to go in the third.
All right, Matt, you're going to have to carry this little timeout real quick. I got to step aside for a quick 90 seconds. I'll be back in a moment.
Absolutely. As we play in the third period, tied at 2, Vegas and Colorado. Third and final regular season meeting of the year between these two. Colorado won the first two, both in Vegas. This the only meeting between the two clubs in Denver. And we sit tied at 2 here. A game against this Colorado team that's been the best in the NHL, most people believed, all year long. They lead the league in goal scoring. They lead the league in preventing goals. Lead the league in shots on goal per game. And they also rank first in penalty killing. This is an all-around terrific Colorado team. But you can't call a team great until they go on a deep run to lift the Stanley Cup. And that is certainly the main goal for this Avalanche squad here this season. Already wrapped up both the Atlantic Division title over Minnesota and Dallas and the President's Trophy as the league's #1 team. 2 wins in a row against St. Louis on the road Tuesday, and then Thursday a victory over Calgary. They will close out their regular season with 3 games next week at Edmonton on Monday, at Calgary Tuesday, and they'll host Seattle in their regular season finale next Thursday. Just north of 12 and a half minutes to go, regulation time. Tied at 2. Mentioned earlier on the channel tomorrow, we've got NASCAR at Bristol, the Food City 500. I think this is fast-paced. And then we'll also have the Penguins and the Capitals tomorrow. Yes, the baton passing style broadcast in NASCAR. Well, at Bristol, that gets really crazy because it's a 15-second lap. So you're basically talking in 7-second bursts before you hand it off, as I'll do tomorrow with Matt White. Face off to the left of Carter Hart in the Vegas zone. McKinnon will
Part of that is so fascinating.
It's very, very fluid. McKinnon and Marner on this face-off, 2 superstars, and Marner was able to win it. Behind the net, Rasmus Anderson swirled it around the boards, and Brett Howden's over the line, and he's got space in deep in the right circle, and he couldn't pull the trigger on a shot, and McKinnon comes away with the puck.
Stick by Taves.
McKinnon accelerates out to center, feeds the right circle, and Lehkonen, well, they're offside.
What a stick by Devon Tays there, Matt, in tight, just cut off Brett Howden driving to the net, just stopped him right in his tracks. Howden outmuscles Malinsky on the right wing to drive to the goal. And as he's getting to the top of the blue paint, just a beautiful stick check there by
Mm.
Devon Tays as he broke that up. And McKinnon was able to turn and take the other way.
Taves is so good, as we know. Face off in neutral ice. Waugh against Hurdle. Waugh with a clean win, and it's guided on back to the stick of Kulak. Feeds it right where Blankenberg could dish it in deep. And back of the goal, Braden McNabb for Vegas. Whacked up the far wall. It took a deflection and carried him back this way. In the Vegas zone to our left, a board battle outside the near circle. Ross Colton jabbing at it. Puck goes high up into the sky. It drops out to center. Racing to it is Brandon Saad, the two-time Stanley Cup champion. Blankenberg got there first. Wristed it around the boards. It comes behind the net. Saad tried to one-hand it out in the corner. It bounces into the corner boards once again, and here's Saad one more time with it for Vegas on his backhand. Guided it to the front. Hurdle spinning. Oh, and a rapid shut down by the right pad of Blackwood, and another shot comes to him from the slot off the stick of Saad, and Blackwood keeps it all out. Puck comes to the near wall, cleared out.
What a save from Blackwood.
Now Blackwood with a couple of good ones. Puck out to center, and Hurdle brings it back over the line. Punched in deep in back of the goal. Kolasar gets to it before Blankenberg did. He's outmanned, but a centering pass! And a shot out in front that didn't make it on goal. Now from the slot, down with a shot that missed the net high. Tapping his stick on the ice to get it back, and he does. And he snaps a shot wide. And in the end, a whistle blows as Blackwood has it, puts it in his pocket, and gets a much-needed whistle.
Crowd here in Colorado loves it. Nick Blankenberg came up with the block this time on top of the paint on a glorious opportunity.
Oh.
Therefore, we'll get a look at the moment. It was Brandon Saad who had the follow-up try. Nick Blankenberg able to stop it. Hurdle off the post, too, on that turnaround try.
Yeah, I thought that went off the right pad of Blackwood. No, it missed the pad and hit the post. Oh, my goodness. Face off to Blackwood's left. Dowd against Nelson as drama begins to build here. Vegas wins the draw from the right point. It's Anderson, D to D to the left side. Played high to low. It bounced up on Cole Smith up high. In back of the goal, Kolasar. Back for Smith in the corner. Muscles his way away from Taves. Filtered it towards the left point. High to low. Hannafin sends it to the right corner where Anderson pinches in. Plays it back around to the far side. Smith and Taves jousting for it one more time. Smith protects. Keeps it in the left circle. Wheels to his forehand and shoots. And that just squeezed out to the left, and another shot from the near wall doesn't make it on goal. Hannafin from the far half wall, back around this way. Anderson shoves down Val Nishushkin. Anderson with a shot up high off the glass. Karams to the far half wall. Mark Stone gets to it there. Sauced up high for Hannafin in the high slot. Drifts to his right, try to backhander, blocked by Natchez. Karam along to the left circle for Eichel. Eichel makes a big turn with it in the high slot. Long wrister block. Karam out in front between the circles. Barbashev a wheel around shot, and that took a deflection out in front. Anderson from the right circle cranked it against the grain into the slot. Eichel hands it off in deep for Anderson. Too hot to handle and taken away by Nelson, who tried to clear, but Eichel held it in at the halfway point of the period. Eichel cradled it back into the slot. It's turned away by Nishushkin. He'll bring it out, and I'll hand you off to Jaric for the final 9 minutes and change.
Vegas back through center on the right wing. Stone in front of the penalty box puts it back into the far corner of the Colorado zone to our right. Near the left wing circle, a puck's tied up between McNabb and Lehkonen. Rolls behind the Colorado goal line to the near corner. It's Brett Kulak. Back-to-back cup finals with Edmonton. Kulak has made. Flipped one out towards the Vegas blue line. That McNabb turns right back to Kulak at the opposite blue line. And now between the benches, a free puck comes to Marner. He's in straight away. Got poke checked by Kulak between the dots. Now on the right wing, McKinnon. Or left wing, I should say. Trying to get over the Vegas line. Squeezes by, keeps possession against Howden. Tried to feed it across. It deflects, but gets to Lehkonen. Lehkonen on the far wall. Played it in behind the Vegas goal to our left. Rolled to Korzak, who tried to clear. It bounces over Blankenberg's stick, who looked like he was going to keep. But it gets out to center with under 9 minutes remaining in this third period. I'm Jaric Rubel. I'm with Matthew Owens here on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube channel. So glad you're with us here on a Saturday night. On the near side, right wing, Korzak flips a puck back into Colorado ice, won't go far enough for icing. Blankenberg has to play it. Saad took him to the boards. Puck came free on the far side for Hurdle. Rolled to the corner. Blankenberg played it up, but right to Colton Sissons. Sissons looking from the left wing circle to the net. Went off a Saad's skate. Goes now to the far side down to our right. Drury sends it up. Doesn't get out. Went off a skate, but does now get out. And Parker Kelly from between the benches pitchforks one to the Vegas zone. Now on the far side, scooting out the center side. Played it on the right wing. Rasmus Anderson will steer it around the Colorado net. Far corner down to our right. Puck goes off a skate in the trapezoid. Burns got it to Malinsky, though, far side. Sam Malinsky on the right wing. Had it go off a Dowd skate in front of the Colorado bench. Back in possession, though, of the Avs. It will go as Malinsky on the far wing for Colton. Couldn't connect. It rolls into Vegas territory. Not far enough for icing, though. As now with under 8 minutes to go in the third. In the far corner to our left in Vegas territory. It's played around the goal to Theodore on the near side. He sand wedges one out in front of the Vegas bench. Played in the skates of Dowd in front of the Colorado bench. He lost possession as Malinsky got it back for the Avs, and he backhanded it up the left wing Kiviranta. Down to the near corner, Colton will one-arm it to the far side, shielding off Rasmus Anderson. Now's Nick Waugh. Nick Waugh lost it. Anderson backhanded it up to Stone. And now Vegas will skate the center with the captain who got the first Vegas goal tonight. Feathered it near wing over the Colorado line. Theodore, space in the slot. Eichel is shut down right on a save made by Blackwood. Rebound between the circles. Tays cleared it just as far as the blue line, but Vegas gets it and re-enters. Eichel near side. Stripped of it by Natchez. He backhands one up. It gets to center. As now in front of the Colorado bench, Stone heads for a change and plays it back in his own zone for Hanifin with under 7 minutes to go in this third period. Dorofeyev has the second Vegas goal tonight with possession in neutral. Played it far left wing for Hanifin to shoot into Colorado ice. Around the goal, it comes to the near right wing. It's chipped by Dorofeyev up to the point for Korzak. Put one right into Brock Nelson's paraphernalia, and up the left wing he'll go. Over the Vegas line, lost possession. Marner swooped it cross ice, far side Hanifin. From between the benches at the end of a shift, he'll snap one into Colorado ice. Won't get to the trapezoid. Blackwood can't play it, but it does come to the near wall for Blankenberg, thanks to Malinsky. Up the left wing side, Lehkonen found McKinnon up to the Vegas blue line. He's in with a shot short side. Didn't make it on net, though, as he tried to get Carter Hart in tight. But now Vegas with possession will head back to center. Rasmus Henderson, a strike. Breaks right in, a shot on a breakaway, goes off the post, and a penalty is coming as Brandon Saad got loose, says that effing crossbar reading his lips as he beat Blackwood to the blocker's side and drew iron, keeping it tied at 2. And Brent Burns, the guilty party for a slash. That'll send Vegas to the man advantage with 6:07 remaining in this one. They'll head to a timeout on the ice, but we'll stay right here. But when play resumes, Vegas to the man advantage.
Couple of posts tonight, including the last Colorado goal. Blankenberg put it off the post, and it caromed off of Hart and in, and Vegas hit a post earlier, if memory serves.
Barbashev, yep. Yeah, that shot too by Saad, very similar to the Blankenberg try in the sense that it went off the same post to the blocker's side, and instead of ricocheting off the goalie and in, ricocheted to the near side and back out. So tough luck there for the Vegas Golden Knights, as 2 points here tonight will get them into the Stanley Cup playoffs as they are trying to make it. For another time here in franchise history. The only time they have not made it was in 2022, but every other season since their inception in 2017-18, they have made the Stanley Cup playoffs. And of course, there's many other fan bases that are dying for a playoff, and Buffalo finally getting their first playoff appearance in 15 years. But imagine being a diehard Sabres fan and having to see Vegas have all this success right off the rip.
If you're new here to the channel, you like what you're seeing and hearing, do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Plenty of hockey coming up as the Stanley Cup playoffs begins a week from today. Jaric and I doing a game together for, like we said, just the third time. This is kind of the first quote-unquote normal game that we've done together. I think we need to make it a point to try to make our schedules come together and do this twice a year at least.
I'd love to do it once a month if we really could. Try and make a specific day. But I know with NASCAR and in the fall with football, with Thursday and Monday night and all that, it does make it tough. But yeah, no, I love doing this, and hopefully maybe we could get together for a playoff game and start calling the nitty-gritty of the NHL season together and make sure everybody has a good time and has a smile on their face in the process.
Big power play coming up.
So 6:07 to go in this third. Face off to the right of Blackwood, and it's won by Colorado. Snap down the ice. This Vegas power play begins with a chase back. Again, all power plays are powered by this YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Ultimate Sports Media channel. Be live tomorrow for NASCAR and Penguins and Capitals. 100 seconds remain on the Vegas power plays. They're in right wing. The captain, Mark Stone, shot it around in the far corner to our right. Jack Eichel's tied up against the boards from Devon Toews. The puck squirts free. Colorado sends it down the ice. And 30 seconds have been killed off already on this Golden Knight power play. So through center, Dorofeyev, 19 power play goals on the year for him. Dropped it off Stone, backhanded it far wall for Eichel on the left side. Drifts to the circle near the half boards, played it up top straight away, Marner. Far wall, it's Eichel. 70 seconds to go on the power play. In the bumper, hurdle a shot, left pad save. Made by Blackwood, rebound cleared up and out by Parker Kelly. As it rolls in between the benches now, Eichel trying to get away from Drury. Got tied up, but Hurdle takes it, and back into the Colorado zone comes Vegas. Under a minute to go on the power play, under 5 to go in the third, tied at 2. Eichel on the far left wing boards. Surveys his options, down low to Stone. In front, off the skate of Hurdle and didn't go on net. Behind to the trapezoid, Hurdle tried to collect. Stone took it away, but turned it right back over. Stone in the slot, Marner nudged it this way, Dorofeyev. Looking for a short side shot, and he missed the net to the glove side off the glass. To the far wall, Eichel. Up top, Marner. Right dot now, Dorofeyev shanked a shot that rolled behind the Colorado net. It's backhanded all the way down by Drury. And that'll count as a shot on goal from the Colorado goal line to the Vegas net, as that went directly on Carter Hart. Down to the final baker's dozen of the Vegas power play. Barbashev cutting in, right wing circle for Anderson. Tried a shot that didn't get through Sam Malinsky, and it'll be pool cued back to the right point from Sissons for Barbashev. Barbashev almost got stripped of it by O'Connor, as now penalty time expires. Colorado with possession, 4 minutes to go in the third. Blankenberg shoots one in. Behind the Vegas net it'll go. On the far corner, Hannafin put it up the boards. A flex out through neutral ice. Burns is on it for the Avs. On the left wing side, McKinnon has space into the Vegas zone. Trying to drive on Theodore to the net. McKinnon has shot at Carter Hart with an outstanding left pad save. Able to get the glove on it with some help from his defenseman, as Nathan McKinnon had Carter Hart down and out, but could not elevate to give Colorado the lead.
Well, strength on strength right there with the Vegas power play, 5th best in the league against the best penalty kill unit. Colorado comes through big, but what a great save, as you mentioned, by Hart. Down the stretch we go here, tied in the final 4 minutes.
Again, here a win for Vegas gets them into the Stanley Cup playoffs. If not, they have a game against Winnipeg on Monday. But Winnipeg taking that loss earlier tonight to the Philadelphia Flyers really puts a damper in their playoff chances, as they're still mathematically in it. They're 5 points out as it stands, but it would have been a much bigger game on Monday had Winnipeg won today and Vegas lose in regulation. But right now it looks like we might be trending towards some extra time here, Matt.
Could be. And every game, now I say every like we've done dozens, the 2 games that we have done together have both gone to overtime and one to a shootout.
They have indeed. Four Nations face-off, Connor McDavid, overtime winner. And I believe it was Ryan Donato or Oliver Moore. It might have been Oliver Moore for the Hawks against the Hurricanes in that game back in January. But you're right, 2 overtimes. And I feel like my luck, I have a ton of 1-goal games to my name this year. And this is just looking to add to the list to be another.
Well, we'll see what happens over the last 3.5 here, but this has been a really fun game. It has lived up to the hype of ABC putting it on a Saturday night. They always view it as such a risk to put Western Conference teams in big windows like this.
They're showing the upcoming schedule, and we'll have Penguins Capitals on the channel here tomorrow, but they're previewing it Malkin versus Ovechkin. That's fascinating to me. What are they petty that Crosby didn't play today? I mean, Gino didn't either. But 3:44 to go in regulation here in Colorado. McKinnon with Natchez and Lehkonen on the ice for the Avs for this ozone draw, and they'll win it, but it's played to the right point. Burns can't turn. Here comes Cole Smith, far left wing side, pivoting into the Avalanche zone. On that loose puck, found a trailer. It's Theodore, and a weak shot there, as it wasn't in his wheelhouse. He had to kind of choke up on his stick to let that shot go from the right wing circle, but Blackwood looked like he was going to face a tough task, but it ultimately ended up being a really easy save.
Shots on goal, 31-27, Colorado.
So close, Matt, for having 3:33 left in the third. 3:32 remains in the third, but good old Pat Foley saying tree to go in the third growing up. Always got to bring that up whenever I see it. Face off here to the left of Blackwood. Vegas wins it cleanly. To the back, Rasmus Anderson activates on the right wing behind the Colorado net. Played it up straight away. Hanifin from the point, a shot save. Rebound, Kolesar and Blackwood. Good, and he did with the left arm. Came back up to the far point. Here's Kolesar, half boards. Back up to Hanifin at the blue line. His long wrister goes in behind to the near side. Anderson threw it on that, and Blackwood will just cover that without a stick, as he puts a paw on it with 3:10 to go in the third, as this guy right on top of the paint robbed Keegan Kolesar point blank there with a left arm save.
Wow, that's a tremendous stop.
As that puck ricocheted to the left of Blackwood, and I'm not even sure he saw Kolesar getting ready to fire it. He just reached out, and that arm, right spot, right time. It wasn't a glove, it wasn't a blocker. It went off the left arm on that sky blue jersey of Mackenzie Blackwood. Nelson wins a draw to Blackwood's left against Eichel, and the Avs flip a puck to center ice. Nichushkin with an area play to the far corner down to our left. McNabb will get on it first for Vegas, whacked it up to center ice, as now Tays will turn back in the final 3 minutes here of regulation time. 2-2 your score in this game. 2 goals by defensemen for Colorado, Tays and Blankenberg. Stone and Dorofeyev, the 2 team leaders for Vegas, with their tallies. In front of the penalty boxes, puck played to the Vegas blue line, where McNabb gave to Theodore, put it up the right wing, but it came off into Chushkin's blade right to him, so he'll go D to D now to McNabb, far left wing. Be tipped in by Stone as it rolls over the Colorado blue line, but back into possession it'll go for Colorado's Kulak. On the near side, Natchez wants to change, so he'll drop it back off, as Colorado will look for a breakout with Tays playing it ahead. Between the benches, Landeskog will fling it on into the near side of the Vegas zone. It bounced off the blade of Colton out of play, as that looked like Colton knew it was going out of play before it even reached him, as he immediately gave up on the play. But the whistle went, and a face-off should stay in neutral ice for the upcoming draw. I mentioned Marty Natchez. He's tied for 7th in league scoring, Matt. You're familiar with this guy from his time with the Hurricanes. 98 points in 75 games. That's 2 shy now of his first 100-point season. He's also 2 goals shy of 40, as he's currently stuck on, well, not stuck on 38, but has 38 on the season. Face off here now to the right of Carter Hart, as it'll be Dowd in for this draw against Gabe Landeskog. Is Gabe Landeskog not typically a center, as he's 62% though on the season, really good at faceoffs, and Dowd at 49%, able to win this one cleanly with no effort from Landeskog. So Vegas with possession as they escape on the left wing out to center ice. Shot in by Howden to our right in Colorado territory. Bouncing puck comes to Lehkonen, backhanded ahead. Now at the Vegas blue line, Hanifin will take a look as Vegas gets possession back. Don't know where he was headed with that pass. No white sweater in the area. He just iced it with 1:53 remaining here in the third. So a big ozone draw coming up here for Colorado, who are likely to get the top line back on the ice.
I'm trying to think here. You've called both the Vegas goals. I've called both the Colorado goals.
I was thinking about that.
So I'm not sure if it ends in regulation, I guess Vegas wins.
Yeah, right? Face off here to the right of Hart. Marner against Landeskog, who's out there for this draw again. Marner not a natural centerman either. And off this draw to the right of Hart, it's tied up and kicked to the near corner. as Rasmus Anderson will flip it ahead, and Dorofeyev will take a look on the near wing. Here comes Marner over the Colorado line. Ran out of racetrack and had to shoot it around the goal to the far wall. Nate just trying to get out. Made a nice move to Landeskog. Got it back this way. Here's McKinnon, left wing circle, puts it on goal, and a save made by Carter Hart as he had to put the glove on top of the Vegas logo on his chest to prevent a rebound. And 90 seconds remain now in regulation time.
Well, McKinnon, I really thought he was going to take this earlier than he did. A delay, then another. Just taking just a beat to get that off his stick.
I'm surprised here, too, with Colorado. Nothing to really play for. Keeping the top guys on the ice for this ozone draw with 90 seconds to go. You would think they'd maybe save them for overtime. But off the draw to the right of Hart, it's going to be won by Vegas. And on the far wing, Eichel got ran into by his own teammate. Here's McKinnon down Main Street, left wing circle. Nate just a one-timer, got the glass as he tried to go far side on Hart. That puck ricochets all the way down the ice. Colorado has to get back on it. Down to the final 90 seconds here of regulation time. 2-2 your score in Ball Arena. Colorado and Vegas on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page. I'm Jaric Rubel, Matthew Owens alongside me. So we're in the final minute now of this one. Far wall, Nelson in the Vegas zone to the point, Burns a shot, and it's punched to the near side by Carter Hart. Up the near wall, out to center, it'll roll. Burns back on it in the Colorado end. Sent it this way for Wah, as Wah now takes a look. Got to the red line, put it into the Vegas zone, as now it's nudged to the near wall for Lehkonen. Lehkonen tried to play it in the slot for Watts, cut off by Hannafin, played back out to center. Final half minute now as Burns wires this back into Vegas ice. Hard out to cut it off in the trapezoid to the far wall. It's played to Hannafin, and now it bounces back to him, and he'll try again with Anderson. Hannafin on the far wall. Up between the benches, puck ended up missing. Howden came to Malinsky, as now Vegas between the benches again, trying to just dump it in and get this game to overtime as they dump it on around the goal. And Lehkonen in the final 10 starts a rush up ahead for the Avs. Drury into the Vegas zone with a shot down the Main Street that got blocked by McNabb to the far corner. And Matt, for the third straight time with this dynamic duo, we're headed to overtime.
Yep. Off we go. 60 minutes,
so 2-2.
Not enough.
The score through regulation time. No goals in that third period as we're stuck on 2 goals apiece. Shots, though, in that third period, 10-6 in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights, as they're going to need a 3-on-3 goal or a shootout win here tonight to clinch a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So we'll see what happens in a 3-on-3. So that's coming up around the bend between the Golden Knights and the Avalanche right here on the Ultimate Sports Media YouTube page.
Well, off we go again to overtime. And let's see who comes out on top. Vegas.
It's Colorado. They're not great in the overtimes this year. You'd think with the star-studded team, they'd be excellent. They're 6-10, but to Vegas's overtime merchant season, they're 8-17. So neither one of these two teams has actually been great for having, a lot of talent for 3-on-3.
Well, it should be a quick-paced overtime period, you would think. Let's see who comes through.
As no matter what, this is a big point for Vegas because, LA's got the extra game in hand, but the odds of them, or Vegas, I should say, really losing to one of Winnipeg or Seattle down the stretch, I think it would be hard to lose both of those games the way they've been playing under Tort. So I think just getting that extra point alone is going to help Vegas stay in that top 3 in the Pacific, whether they win or lose this game.
115th point in the standings for Colorado, 90th for Vegas. Both of these
teams... That puts them 3 points ahead of LA, by the way, as it stands. That's what gives them a little bit of that extra breathing room here to potentially avoid Colorado in the first round.
Well, let's see how overtime will play out here between the Avs and the VGK. Only meeting of the year between these two in the regular season in Denver. Colorado won the first 2 of the series in Vegas, Jaric, and we get ready for overtime to get started.
It'll be Dowd with Howden and Theodore. Interesting for Vegas. And meanwhile, it'll be Nelson with Malinsky and looks like McKinnon on the far side for the Quebec Nordiques in this overtime. So face off here at center. Vegas going right to left and Colorado going left to right. Dowd wins the draw. He'll hop off the ice right away as Vegas gets possession here in the overtime. Matt, if it gets to 2.5 minutes, I'm going to cut it off and throw it to you, and we'll split it half and half. Here's Marner for Vegas through center as this overtime's underway. Left wing circle. Plays it off now to Theodore, who skates out to center as he doesn't like what he sees. So he now retreats into his own zone. 30 seconds already elapsed in this overtime. Played now up between the benches for Eichel. Back near his own blue line, dropped it off for Marner. He gallops over the 30th anniversary Avalanche logo. Now left it at that logo for Eichel, who enters the Avalanche zone. Put it straight away, Marner near the blue line. Left it right there for Anderson, who glides to the near wall. Pivots to his forehand, now gets out of the zone as Vegas is playing riveting hockey here. To begin this overtime, Stone a turnover. That's what they get. Nelson with it for Colorado on the far wall. Doesn't like what he sees either, so he'll backtrack, but McKinnon will take it. Minute gone by in overtime as the Night Dogs back in on the near wing. Peels back out the center as neither team here wants to try for a shot. Colorado's got nothing to lose, but McKinnon will put Natchez up on the far right wing. Played it across Taze's shot, and it got blockered away by Hart as now end-to-end we go on the far wall. Eichel through center. Right wing at the circle, a shot, he scores! Jack Eichel, a playoff clinching goal, and Vegas is heading back to the big dance. So Jack Eichel, 3-2 the final in overtime as he gets his 26th goal of the year, and Vegas has clinched a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs with the 3-2 overtime win. What a game here tonight, Matt. A great Western Conference battle between two heavyweights.
Yeah, and Vegas, there's going to be Vegas fans that ask you to call all of their games from here on out. I mean, they got all three. Eichel, I mean, that's a great shot. And I said earlier it was going to be a fast-paced overtime, and it turned out, as you said, neither team wanted to do much of anything in the overtime, which was disappointing to see. But Eichel gets the goal. It's his 5th career goal in 20 games against the Avalanche, and it's a big overtime goal to secure a playoff spot for the Golden Knights to chase another Stanley Cup, this time with John Tortorella. They have now won 5 of 6 since the appointment of Tortorella as head coach.
It looks like Jack Eichel's going to get the player interview here at the end of the game, deservingly so, as this guy's come up clutch for Vegas time and time again since being brought over from Buffalo about 5 years ago now, which is honestly quite crazy to think about. But he gets an overtime winner here in this game to punch his team's ticket to the Stanley Cup playoffs. As Matt, this Vegas team under Tortorella, this was now the second quality win in my opinion. They beat Edmonton a week ago 5-1. They beat Colorado here 3-2 in overtime, and they're playing a much stricter style under Torts. It's not really a different system. They're still keeping the Bruce Cassidy system that was implemented, as there's not a lot of turnover time to learn anything new, but a new voice in the room's got these guys playing tighter and much better. And all of a sudden, this turnaround from the Vegas Golden Knights has my eye, as we are now 1 week away from these guys taking the ice in the playoffs.
Another overtime win for them. They have 5 fewer regulation wins than Anaheim, but now Vegas is at the top of the Pacific Division as they go a point clear of Edmonton, 2 clear of Anaheim, at the top of the Pacific. And we know Vegas will be in the playoffs. Who will they get in the first round? Got, a few days, close to a week to figure that out.
I want the most absolute off-the-rails series you've ever seen between the Golden Knights and the Ducks, just on the sole fact that you will have the most amazing press conferences between Torts and Q. If things are just banana land in that series, the interviews are going to be the best TV you've ever seen.
Yeah, the playoffs start a week from tonight, a week from today, and we are excited for it. We'll bring you so much, of course, NBA and Stanley Cup playoff action along with the other sports that we bring you as we start clicking on through, well, getting close to summertime, and we know what that brings in the sports world. This week, well, let's just start with tomorrow. Tomorrow, NASCAR at Bristol, as we talked about, and then Penguins Capitals at 3 as Washington continues to try to make their push towards the playoffs. We'll also have games throughout the week, I'm assuming, from Jaric, and then, of course, the playoffs start on Saturday.
Yeah, for those of you kind of looking to see what I'm going to have for you this week, look after tomorrow, maybe even after tonight, I'll have a better idea. I know I'm looking towards Canadiens Flyers on Tuesday to bring that to you guys. I was going to do the Red Wings game against Tampa on Monday, but now that one it's not even seems like it's not going to be a big game. It's not really going to mean anything because Detroit's eliminated. So if I take a look here at the Monday slate, what do we got here? Not sure if there's a whole heck of a lot we could really bring you that has meaning to it. Sharks and Preds is a good one. Avalanche and Oilers, a little bit too late past the hour for the games I typically bring. Maybe I do Hurricanes Flyers, but Flyers 2 nights in a row. I mean, it's a big game. So perhaps we'll have the Canes and the Flyers on Monday. For sure, the Flyers, though, on Tuesday against the Canadiens as they try and get in during game 82.
Can't wait. Regular season winding down this week. Playoff time is right around the corner. It's the best time of year to be a hockey fan. And tonight was fun. Enjoyed it, Jaric, and hopefully we'll be able to do this more next season, and playoffs are next. At least for me
Absolutely.
it is. Not for you. You. Like you said, you've got games during the week. But for me, playoffs are next.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we were able to get this, get together and do this tonight. Maybe we could get another one into the playoffs as well. But yeah, absolute blast with you as always. 3 straight overtime. So I guess
That's crazy.
we got to bet overtime next time we do one of these things together. Make ourselves some extra money doing one of these things, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
But yeah, always a pleasure. I look forward to hearing your call on NASCAR tomorrow. I know you and Matt White always bring in a great audience, as well as the JB Motorsports crew. And I look forward to hearing the hockey fans as well in the chat with me for the Penguins and the Capitals. Perhaps the final time Crosby and Ovechkin do battle with one another. That's still to be decided, though, as Ovi thinks about it during the summer. But I look forward to tomorrow. I look forward to the next time we do this together, Matt. And of course, I'm looking forward 7 days from now, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yes, indeed. All right, final score here. It is Vegas in overtime beating the Nordiques here in Denver. 3-2 the final. Vegas wins it. They're going to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hockey regular season winds down this week. Playoffs a week from today. Can't wait. We will see you then. Have a